Hello, beautiful people. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please say yes. We can hear you. Um, where I'm gonna have Pidina and Manuela join us very shortly, guys. This is gonna be a very important podcast because we are not telling you what to believe, what to think. But we're gonna put out information that I found, and you guys are gonna make your own mind up. Of course, we're gonna give our input, but but and it's gonna be based on what we find and other stuff that people have told us. Some sources have told us as well. But it's very important for to understand that it's this is information that's registered. It's in the public domain. This is not my information. I just found it, and we're gonna share it. Hola, Claudia Salas, and I want to thank you all for. Don't forget to click like before you even start watching this. And share and subscribe, and also, with my guest, because I will be sharing a lot of information. I am pretty sure that a lot of the Sussex squad is going to be in the conversation, so I'm going to ask the mods to please stay on top of things because I won't be able to be looking because I'll be sharing stuff on screen and I won't be able to look at the chat. So, without further ado, guys, I'm gonna bring Pidina and Manuela. Pidina, we can't see you or hear you. Pat, we can't see you or hear you. Hello.
Uh,
Well, I think I don't know. I'm gonna remove her and then I'm gonna add her back. I'm gonna see what's going on with Pat. Just one moment. Yolanda Varner. Hola, gatita. Very few people call me gatita. Hello, Pat. I can't see you.
let me.
No, no, it's Pat the issue here. Yolanda Varner. Very few people call me gatita. So I wonder who that is. Only my family, some of my family members call me gatita. So,
Uh, it's funny how we have these little family names, little pet
yeah,
names.
yeah. We're just trying to get Pat on here, and we're gonna start seeing. So let me just resend. She seems to have the link okay, but she seems to be having issues with getting on.
Hmm.
So, guys, I just want you to understand that, okay, that the information we're showing, it's not information that we made up. It's information that it's really out there. Okay. So it's up to you to decide what you want to believe or you don't want to believe. Okay. Because it's just the way it is. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I know that a lot of people are going to be very upset about it because they don't want to believe it, or they're going to call me because I've been posting some stuff on X and stuff. So I'm just giving P Dina, probably P Dina setting herself up. Oh, thank you, Yolanda Varner. You met me on TikTok. Yes, when I had you know that they banned my main TikTok account. I have over 100,000 subscribers. My videos usually got between 2 to 3 million views per videos. You know who was even following me? That Bethany Frankel and some other
Uh,
people, and they banned me when I put a video of Meghan Markle when she's talking about in 2012 about racism, and then I compared it to the one in Netflix where she says she never heard about racism, and I couldn't even say nothing. They just completely banned my account, so I had to start a new one. So my other account was Gatito 1968 because that's the year I was born. Okay, yeah, Pat is gonna come. We're gonna wait. We're gonna start a little bit. I'm just gonna start a little bit, and then we're gonna give time for Pat to join us. So because she's gonna have a lot to say too. So guys, everything from me. I've been so curious. I know a lot of people have been talking about trademarks, and everybody's been talking about Meghan Markle, the box, whether the box is this, whether the box is that. And if you notice, my videos have been about the label.
mhm.
Why is the label important, guys? I sell fruit. And before, I used to use a manufacturing company or processing plant that had to be FDA approved if I wanted to export to the United States. And you have to meet serious regulations. It has to say batch lot number for traceability, because if you need to recall food, you need to know which food to recall, or where is the problem and where do you locate it. And this is very interesting because I've been talking about this for quite some time now. And interestingly enough, I just found out a couple of people also talking about it, and I thought I'd share that with you because it's not only me, but I'm glad that they're the ones that are also talking about it. Thank you very much, Beth, so very much. And yes, thank you for the super chat. So I'm going to share something with you guys here because these are two guys talking about it. And I was because I've been talking about it. Please look at my videos. I don't care what the website looked like. We all know that she's an idiot, that she's not creative. We know that she doesn't, Meghan Markle, I don't know. I really don't know. Rachel Meghan Markle is insane, but let me share this. These are two dudes here talking, but listen to what they're talking about. Okay.
Meghan Markle made her entire team sign an NDA just to work on this project. So everybody who worked on the As Ever lifestyle brand had to sign an NDA so that they couldn't disclose where her products were being produced.
That's sketchy.
No shit. Because if you're taking Schmucker's jam and spooning it or drizzling it into a smaller jar, that's not something that you want to come out.
Well, not only that, I mean, certain restrictions, FDA stuff, like if you're dealing with food, I mean, you gotta, where is it being made? Like, I don't know. Are you importing it? Is it coming from, is it an American made product? Is it coming from another country? Which is great. Just why not tell us?
Yeah. I have no idea. Why, right? Why not tell?
I can tell you guys that I import that, and it's very strict. It is mandatory. I've heard people online talking about, she doesn't need it. She doesn't need it.
Of course you
Yes,
need it.
she does. And you need to also disclose it on the website.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the website, you need to have that on the website. And for what I see on her website, and I'm going to show it to you here. We're going to go to the As Ever website. Here. I'm going to share it quickly with you because I don't want to give her too much traffic. This is her here. And then you go to buy, enter email, okay? Because she needs that email to mail it. And of course, she has that shop, it's sold out. Everything is sold out, which is not true. But if you look at this by law, she has ingredients, but not really. She doesn't have any ingredients here on the label. And on the label, you need to have the ingredients. You
That's
have
the
it here on
nutritional
the
panel.
website. You have it. I think that you have it ingredients. She
It
has
has
it on
to be
the
on the
website.
label.
Yeah, but she has it on their website. She has raspberries. You don't know where these raspberries come from, how much pesticide they have, nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Organic lemon juice concentrate. Whenever you do a concentrate, from what is my experience, you still need to add a chemical so it doesn't go bad, especially citric, so that it retains a certain flavor. You know what I mean? Unless you're using the actual lemon and you're squeezing the lemon right into it. If you're putting it in a flask, you do need something because the lemon, tends to get, with time.
Yeah.
It's so you need to add a chemical. So when she says organic lemon juice concentrate, probably the lemons were organic, but afterwards something happened with it that is not right. And here we have Miss Pidina. Hello, Pidina. So I'm
Hi.
just
Mhm.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
Manuela. Sorry, you guys,
Hi.
I'm late. I
Hi.
had
no,
issues.
no, it's okay. But we were just talking because I showed the video of the two guys that you also sent me. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the labels, and I mean, and I've covered so much about this, and I don't understand. I know that people want to know that that the website is stupid, but this is actually, where's Pat? Did she go? She went. Okay, but people are you have to know, because if you are allergic to it, you don't know really what you're putting in your mouth, guys. You
And you
really
have
don't
to
know.
have, yeah, in skincare, because we manufacture skincare, labeling is very important. Everything you put on a label is very important. There's your font size, where it is on the label. There's a legal line. The legal line knows the manufacturer or point of origin or contact. These things are not optional. Ingredients are not optional. How you list them is not optional. It's not like you decide what you want. This is, as you know, with food, with, the FDA, they have a certain standard and script that you must follow. That's why a lot of times when you look at packaging, I know, for example, one of our lip glosses, the packaging looks funny because we have to abide by the rules. You have to use a certain size font. You have to put a certain amount of information. There has to be a contact point because of the fact that of a recall, of an allergy, of something going on, a full disclosure.
Yeah. And the barcode, it's for people to be able, whenever you scan it, it comes from where it's coming in. The barcode, guys, there's so much information there. You
A
have no
lot.
idea how much information is in that barcode. So, which is why when you want to complain to the FDA, they ask you for that barcode. Either you upload the picture or the numbers under the barcode. Hello, Pidana, you're back. Hello. Mhm.
What is going on? Oh my goodness. I can't seem to log in and be here with you for some reason.
But
So
here we go. It says that we're talking about what the FDA, because Manuela, she has experience in this, right? She packages stuff, and yours is cosmetic.
Yeah, but we do supplements as well. So we do basically food. And when you're doing food or drug or skincare, you have a layout, right? So you have to have the product name, you have to have what it is, like classification. You have to have the size, the fill volume, who made it or who it's manufactured for. You have to have a legal line, which is an address, a zip code, a postal code, and an address that is easily recognizable. So if people have to go to the source, they know where to go. I
mhm.
mean, and you have to have your ingredients. None of these things are optional. You're not even, you are also regulated by how big the font is, how big each letter can be. For example, for the weight, for the legal line, it can't be too small. And there's certain minimums, right? So all of this is done to protect people. So you know what's in it, you know who to contact, you know where it's from. You're supposed to be able to get safety from the label.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, what do you think, Pidina?
Yeah, I think that's just so interesting that she thinks she can sell items without putting the required information on her products. Like, why would she think she could get away with that? How is she getting away with that?
I don't think she has sold anything, to tell you the truth, Pat. Okay, guys, I talked about it in my video yesterday, because when I knew exactly when her website went live, in fact, I saw it. I saw it with my own two beautiful big brown eyes, and yes, my eyes are beautiful.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
Of course.
um, um, it went live. So I was sitting with Marines and another buddy of mine, and we all had each our laptops, and we were immediately trying to buy one product at least. We have our, I don't know about you, but in my laptop I have my card details saved, right? So it's easier. You go and click, and you put it in, and then whenever I click next to buy, then it would circle and circle around, and I got an error page, and then it took me back again to the thing. This went on for about 6 minutes. The three of us at the same time could not do it. And then it suddenly said everything was sold out in less than 8 minutes, guys. And
Yeah.
I know from experience, because I have a website, you, Manuela, have a website, that,
Yep.
for example, at least for me, when I'm working on a product, when you're editing certain things in a product, if somebody tries to buy from that link at the moment that you're working on it, they will get an error message because that link is not available, is not live, because you're working on it, at least for
Right.
me.
Yeah. You
You
take
Mhm.
know?
it offline to work on it. Yeah.
Exactly. And so if when they click on it, they will get it like a 404 error page or something like that. That's because, for example, I was editing one time, I was putting uh, some stuff that I wanted to change the pictures because I took better pictures, and the picture was crooked. So just like 5 minutes, but then you get that message, which means that Meghan Markle made that thing live, and then she immediately went and put everything sold out,
Yeah.
Mm.
you
And
know?
Yeah.
Because Pat, we were refreshing. Like I kid you not. And within 8 minutes, and I assume that's how long it took them to get the code of sold out up for all the items, because you
Yeah.
have to go individual item per item. So I'm very shocked that one YouTuber, I have only heard of one YouTuber who was able to get most of the products. And
Yeah. So how were they able to do that then?
I have no idea, because the only people who have received and shown the products are the celebrities that she sent them to and the Sussex Squad.
Yeah, like average people that just went to buy them
No,
haven't.
they haven't posted anything. Nobody has been able to buy anything. Only
That's
that YouTuber. Yeah, only that
okay, so
YouTuber.
clearly, Meghan has done something very deceptive. That's obvious, and I believe Meghan would do that because she knows she needs to be successful and she wanted to guarantee her success with this launch because her whole brand, her whole future was riding on that actually happening. And there's no way she's selling to regular people without having the proper FDA required labeling on her products. So clearly that's what she's done, you know?
It's, maybe she had pressure to open up this website or somehow in her mind, and then therefore her other stuff is not lined up. And perhaps because I've seen this, that we can do this within our system, within our Shopify web system, you can put up a banner, right? So a banner would be that coming soon, right? And then if your inventory, if your program is set up in a way that when your inventory goes to 0, it says sold out, she could have the coming soon banner, 0 inventory of all the product, turn the system on, and it will automatically go to sold out, right?
Yeah.
Because the banner will switch.
Yeah.
And maybe in 1 or 2 SKUs, maybe she had 1 or 2 items. So 1 or 2 things sold, and the rest, it was just a banner switch based on the available inventory.
Yeah.
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 But it's interesting because this is something that nobody else is talking about. Have we forgotten that Netflix was supposed to be the distributor at the 2 malls? So it's amazing that Netflix doesn't have the products to distribute in the stores.
Yeah, it's amazing that they, outside of celebrities, no real people that have a role in food have samples. Like, you don't think somebody who would be in the head of the spot, the buyer or the store or something like that, actually have gone through it and has it, because they would automatically say, we can't even list this item because the label is incomplete. It's rejected.
Yeah. You can't, because you're going to be sued, and the FDA will shut it down.
Yeah,
You know,
unless they position it in a farmer's market, they're much more lenient on what you can put on your handwritten label. But if you're going to mass produce, and if you're going to do it at this scale, I mean, this is scale. This is not you're making 1 bushel of jam from your kitchen. You're making, at scale. It has to follow the requirement. The buyer will know, because the buyer actually has to register and list the product themselves. So it would have to follow that information from the label.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Then it's not mass produced. It can't be. She's given the illusion that it's mass produced, but it's not. So she knows she's doing something technically that's not illegal. Oh, nice. That's not illegal, but she's definitely doing something that is not following the guidelines.
Right.
So she can do it to appear like it is, but it really isn't.
then how is she going to become a billionaire? How is Netflix going to distribute the products? Because Netflix did a whole announcement. Ted Sarandos was heard saying, this is where we're foraying into. He even did an interview where he said, do you think that Meghan Markle is the right person to do this? And he said, and he said, well, he didn't say yes or no, but he said she has a cultural inference. And he said that they're going to distribute at the malls at their stores, in any store, Pat, that you once you go to the store, once you're selling it to a consumer, you have an official website. You need to be FDA approved. You need to know where the food comes from, because
you need to be compliant. You must be compliant, or else it's a recall. And if you can't recall, if you don't have an origin, like, that's going to be very difficult. The traceability, who makes it, who has the liability on it. Even from her label, it's interesting because I just saw it on the screen. You can automatically know that the raspberries are not organic because
Yep.
they've made a point of making the other ingredients organic. So they're
Yeah.
following that. But right away, no one should ask, is this organic or not? It's not. It's like
It's
so
not.
easy,
And not
you know?
only that, I talked to Pat about
Mhm.
this because I'm a farmer, guys, and Pat has seen my site and everything, right?
Mhm.
And my agronomist, who everybody has tried to steal him from me, like Japanese, German, everybody has tried to steal him from me because he's so good, guys. Everything I do from my side is absolutely organic. It's a little bit of a bitch because you have to be on top of it. It's not like chemicals. But when he saw it, just showed them the video of the raspberries, and he says those are bleached. And I'm like, I mean, what do you mean they're bleached? They're bleached. He goes, raspberries when they're fresh. Because have you guys gotten raspberries on when you're moving? You see juice oozing a little bit out of it.
Mhm.
So what they when you add bleach to it, it dries it up and it gives it like a white film on top of the raspberries. And a lot of
Mhm.
times they do that to try to disguise the pesticides or to finish killing off whatever it is. And then when you bleach it, then you take the juice out, which means you have to add more chemicals, glucose to the fruit because real fruit that is organic is even the sweetest fruit has a hint of a citric, unless of course we're talking papaya, which is has a high Brix code, you know. But every fruit, even strawberries, even the sweetest strawberries have a hint of bitter, acidic, you know, like
Mhm.
it's something like that. But if you grab a bunch of strawberries or raspberries, especially raspberry, which the skin is very soft,
Yeah.
it breaks quickly. You would have seen when they're pouring the thing like that, you would see some of them, some juice come out.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you don't know what you're putting in your mouth. You don't know where that processing plant is. And a lot of people have said that it's no commerce because it's no commerce is listed there. But it's no commerce is not the manufacturer. They're the middlemen. They're the ones in charge of ensuring that once you're able to buy this eventually, that you place the order. They're in charge of making sure that the transaction goes smoothly and it's delivered. But they're not in charge of making the jam.
So they're the
Mm.
pickers and packers, right? So they basically take the order, take the jam, and put it in a box and
No, no,
send it
no, no,
to
no, no, no. They're
no.
just the middlemen. It's like when you buy tickets, you know, like they place the order, they're responsible that your details that they take your credit card payments, whatever, and then
Ah,
they send it to the people, and then they send it to the manufacturer and they send it to you. So
yeah.
they have to
Okay.
make sure that you get, but they are not the ones manufacturing. It doesn't say, and the fact that she's made people sign an NDA, it's shocking to me, and it's
Yeah.
shocking. YouTubers are not talking about it, that the mainstream media is not talking about this because this is mandatory worldwide, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling, and I'm going to tell you guys why, because I'm going to share with you. Because I think what it is that Netflix is not, their contract expired and it was not renewed. Their contract expired in March and it was not renewed. They are in conversations. Megan has the 16 episodes that she had, 8 are still remaining, which are going to be shown. And then, of course, this venture of selling her stuff, right?
Mhm.
So but this woman is so stupid, guys. And this is why we're after this. We're going to show you something very serious that has to do with Sentebale. Okay. And again, for legal disclosure, this is not our information. This is in the United States Patent and Trade Office. This is not our information. You will see the documents. We're putting it out there. And then after we show you the documents, we're going to give you our opinion. Okay. But I'm going to show you why I think this woman hasn't been able to do that. And let me just see which one it is here. No, that's the one that's closed. I'm going to see the as ever one. I'm just want to get you to the as ever one that has the what you might call it, the here. This is it. Mhm. No, that's not it. Because she has so many as ever, guys. It's not even funny anymore. You know, she has so many as ever that I don't know why this woman is doing all of that, to tell you the truth. What is this? Was okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get everything organized for you here. No, I can't believe how many companies this woman has. I can
Yeah,
No,
that's just
I was
so,
just
I mean,
looking at it. It is unbelievable, guys. It is unbelievable how
Paula,
many.
remember when we were looking at the registry for the products or the trademarks? I showed it on my last video. Like there were all of these trademark names that she was registering with
Yeah,
product. Yeah, this it's
okay.
unbelievable.
She's
It's
just trying
almost
everything.
psychotic.
Yeah. Like what she did because she still has an as ever that is has a bunch of things that we will show you, right? She still has an as ever that has like everything under the sun, guys. And this is why she's going to get into a lot of trouble because there's at least two companies that are going to oppose it, right? So this is why she went and quickly applied on September 17th, 2024 for this, just for the pancake mix. Okay. You can,
Mm-hmm.
no, this is, this as ever, the other one. I'm going to wait. I'm going to make sure that that's, which one is it? I have it here. Okay, I'm gonna show that's the other one. That's the other one. That's the one that's still pending, by the way. That she
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been able to that has the jam in there. That's the one that has the jam in there. The other one that I was showing you, which still not even ready for publication. On February 18th, here, on February 18th, 2025, less than a month ago, she applied just for the mixes for bakery goods, cookie mixes, biscuit mixes, and crepe mix. Nothing for jam, right? And what happened is that it was approved for PUB, which means to make it public for opposition. What does that mean, guys? And I did my video yesterday, and I'm going to show you here and other things that they did with Sentebale, because we're going to get into Sentebale. This is just the first step. They haven't even published this for opposition, for other companies to go and say, we have a problem with this brand because we're also, it's too close to our name
Right.
and there. And then if there's opposition, it can take months, if not years.
Mhm.
And I believe that this woman is so stupid that because this was done in April 2nd and it was approved for PUB, she immediately thought, oh, that means it's registered. That means it's registered. And this woman has been lying to Netflix. You don't lie to your partners. She's been lying. You know, Netflix gave her enough rope to hang herself. So she put out this out. Oh my God, the website. Oh my God, the web. I mean, I was looking at this is like, that is so embarrassing. I felt secondhand embarrassment. So I believe that this woman is doing that. And what happens? She's about 3 to 4 months away still. If nobody opposes it, once it comes and it's published they have to publish it in the trademark application gazette, official gazette, for
Yep.
30 days. And if somebody opposes it in those 30 days, then you're looking at months. They have to study, analyze it, and then she
Yep.
might lose, which is what happened with Archwell, because Archwell is still pending. So this is why this woman is not selling anything, because Netflix doesn't want to take a chance of having another American Riviera Orchard in their hands. Because remember that she did this, Pat? Remember when she did that?
Yeah. I remember. Mm-hmm.
She did exactly the same thing we're seeing now. She had the launch of the website. She had, the people waiting in line and everything. So this is what this woman, this stupid woman, is trying to do, and I'm shocked that people are not worried about what they're putting in their mouth, because I don't think she's selling anything. I just think that she wants to give the illusion that she's doing something because she has nothing going for her. Okay.
That's a good. You know, I have about 7 or 8 trademarks with the skincare, with Isomer Skincare, and when we come up with a new name, or we think this is a really good idea for a product name or something, we take that name, we give it to a lawyer, they do a search. They do usually a U.S. search, because most of our business is in the United States, right? So they'll
Mm-hmm.
do a US search, and then they come back, and this search doesn't take very long. It takes, 48 hours or something. And they will tell us in the category that you want to be in. So, for example, we want to be in skincare or supplements. That name likely will pass or not or fail, and then they will tell you who's already using it, and then how close it is to somebody else. Even if you just use a few, like move a few things around, right? And it doesn't even have to be identical. It could be similar. It could suggest the same thing. And then based on that, you make basically a business decision. Is it worth the risk? Am I able to go ahead and apply for this and not be opposed? And the chances are, if somebody already owns that name, even if they're not using it, they will fight you. They're going to want that name, or you're going to have to pay them for that name, right? Because that's just what it is. It becomes an asset. This is one of the things that when you have a company, you want as many things that you own that have assets, they have value to your company, right? So I'm thinking, like, we wanted to do a product it was for menopause, and it was called Resurgence. And we did a search, but I did the search. I didn't let a lawyer do it. And this was like 25 years ago. I did the search. We went ahead with the product. And don't you know that somebody else already had the name? They weren't using it, but they was parked. And they called that a submarine trademark. So basically it's not really advertised, but at the last minute, when you go and apply for it, it pops up and it puts you out of the game, right? So we had to change our product name after launching, and this is 25 years ago, to just the letter R, because we couldn't think of another name. But that just shows you run a risk. So this is, with all the means that they have, I don't understand the risks that they're running. It just boggles the mind, right? It's not like they're just a startup and they're young students or they're struggling and they're trying to figure it out. Right. They have everything. Like they could, executing it properly would be easy.
Right. And that's the thing. Meghan doesn't want to listen to the people that I think give her the advice on what she needs to do. And that's part of the problem. She's not listening to the people that she's paying, I think, to help her, or maybe not paying. I mean, maybe she's not even hiring people to help her.
Yeah. I'm going to show you something, guys. That's going to shock you, because you guys remember, and this is going to show you that these people, that Meghan Markle had her mind set for a long time on leaving the United Kingdom. And this is, we're going to get here, Sussex Royal. You see this? Let me show you Sussex Royal. Are you watching this, Pat? You and I talked about it. Look how many Sussex Royals is. And what is very interesting, guys, is that they started on January 8th, 2020. The very same day they made an announcement that they were leaving. But look what they have. This is a Sussex Royal individual in the USA. Joe Fogelson is guys, in case you didn't know that, he's a lawyer for a patent trademark. This is another one, which is Scott Paul. This is an individual in the USA also. These are all within January and February. And we know that Meghan Markle likes to use third parties for these things, right? And then you have this Fuller Alexander Mason, which is also another one. You have Sussex Royal, and they were trading everything under the sun. Okay, there was the one that says Sussex Royal, guys. The owner is this individual, but it's actually based in Canada, because it has Canada there, and I'll show you that. And look at this. They were having graphic T-shirts, everything, right? And each and every one of these had charity included. But this is the one that takes the biscuit, Royal Sussex Charities. And under that, they were going to sell clothing, pens, mugs, and stuff like that. So this I'm going to show you right now, because, I told you we were going to bring the receipts. And when you're going to ask, why does that have to do with Sentebale? It has a lot to do with Sentebale. So we have Sussex Royal. You can see the application filing date. January 8th, 2020, the very same day that they said that they were leaving the UK. Okay. And I guess they abandoned it when the Queen told them, you can't use the word royal. And I guess that's why she said, you don't own the word royal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember when she said that to the queen, or in
Yeah,
reference
she said,
to.
yeah, she put it in the newspaper that she didn't even own the word royal. But look at this, January 8th, 2020. That's when they were going to trademark the goods. Let's see the goods and services. Communication by computer terminals, transmission and delivery of video, audio, and data via the internet and wireless communication networks. And this is very important, guys, because this is where it gets tricky with the Sentebale application that Harry wanted to trademark in the United States, which is absolutely disgusting. And I am going to show it to you. And one thing that I want to also show you guys is that the royal family was aware that there were issues. We can tell almost when that there were issues because the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry, I'll show it to you here, guys. They had amended here. It's dead now. The Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry. They had amended it to include Meghan Markle, right? And then rather in April here in April they included Meghan Markle in April. I'll tell you exactly the date here that they included here in April. Here, this is where they did that. You see this here, April. Here, you see on April 4th, 2019, they included the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and then in September, here on November 1st, 2019, they killed the organization. They killed it. They killed it. So they knew at least in November 2019 that there were issues with Harry and Meghan because they killed this one. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now,
Awesome.
yes, exactly. Now, this is the interesting part, guys, that we wanted to get to you because we want to take your opinion on that. And clearly, this is not us. This is what's out there, right? I want to make that very clear. Okay. So we're going to share with you now the Sentebale because Sentebale has been properly trademarked in the United States and worldwide. See?
Well, we have to make a notice though, because I just talked about this in my last video and it had been denied. This has happened most recently, like as of last week.
Well, it was denied. The thing is, though, that it was denied. It was. I'll show you the story, and I'll show you the documents why it was denied.
Yeah,
I have all the documents because you can actually look at the documents, guys, of what's going on and everything. You can look at the documents, okay, and it tells you why they denied it. You have the official denial of everything, and here. I'm going to show you this, Sentebale. We're going to go over here. We're going to go, guys. This is attorney name. That's the new attorney because the attorney was changed in May last year. Okay. And when we go to the prosecution history, it tells you when it was denied. It was denied and here, refusal. The first refusal was in January 8th, 2024. That's when it was refused. And then they got another, the final refusal was on May something that it was. And that's here, January 8th, refusal process by IB. That's the international bureau that registers. Because not only do you have to register your trademark in the United States, they also have to, if you want to do it worldwide, like Harry wanted to do, you have to report it to the international bureau so they can check, they can notify worldwide if there's anybody who opposes. This is a very complicated process, guys. You have to understand that this was started. It says here, March 7th, 2023. Dr. Chandauka was not around. Okay.
But she did come around in 2023. Which month did she come around again?
She started coming around in February and March. And I'm going to show you because we're going to look at the documents here, guys. Let me see. You can see the documents here, guys. There's everything here. You can see the documents here. They just appear on on what you might call it, on another page. So I'm going to show you what was the original thing that Harry wanted to trademark, and you tell me if that sounds to you like it was a charity that he wanted to trademark. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that because when I click on the document, it'll come on that page, right? So I just want to, second one. Okay. I just want to make sure that I show you the right one. This is what Harry, that's the document that shows, um, I think, let me see. Let me see. Is that the one that I'm showing? No, that's the correct one. That's the correct one. I'm going to show you the second one then. I'm sorry, guys. It's just that they all look the same. Let me see. Here. This is how it was originally submitted. And look at the address is Sentebale. That's fine, but the lawyer is different, right? So this is what the goods and services of what Harry wanted to do. Downloadable electronic publications, downloadable information in electronic form, downloadable video and or sound recordings, software including software for use with mobile devices, campaigning. And this is something that also appears on Archwell. And I will show you that too. I will show you that because Meghan kept getting this a lot on her first Archwell application. Campaigning, terms considered too vague by the International Bureau, you know? And then they go promotional and public awareness campaigns, term considered too vague by the International Bureau. Volunteer placements, and this was fine. Volunteer placements, services, provision, volunteer, blah, 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 that was fine. This is a very crucial part here. Charitable fundraising, arranging charitable collections, management and monitoring of charitable funds, and payment of funds to charity, financial grant making. And then basically, Harry wanted to own and fundraise and decide what to give and who to give it to, if any, which is what they're doing with Archwell right now. But then again, terms considered too vague by International Bureau. Then they have educational and training services, organizing of conferences, seminar, courses, workshops, and other events. Again, terms considered too vague by the International Bureau. Sporting and cultural activities of audio and or video recordings and publishing, including online publishing, provision of non-downloadable electronic publications, advisory, consultancy, and information services. Terms considered too vague for the International Bureau. I mean, like, provision of non-downloadable software, software as a service, design and creation of software, including application software, design, creation, hosting, and maintenance of websites. Then, does that sound charity to you anywhere, Pat? Or
No, yeah.
healthcare services? This is very much better up.
Yep, that's Harry's better up.
Yeah, healthcare services, including mental health care services, but those are services. This is not for charity. Advisory, consultancy, and information in relation to health and mental health, psychological and mental health, counseling services, provision of immunizations, and they go terms considered too vague for International Bureau. And this is why. And then he had his old lawyer, right? See, and this was because you have here, this is on March 7, 2023. So does that sound to you like a charity?
No, that's not charitable services. These are services that you would have to pay for, and things around mental health, immunization. I mean, these are things that are big money makers, and I think that shows you that they were trying to use it to make money as a business, but try to make it attached to the charity to show them doing this work in the United States. And it goes in line with the accusation that Dr. Sophie was saying about Harry wanting to fundraise under Sentebale in California. They were trying to move a lot over there, and then I think they were going to switch it to the, for-profit business around Sentebale to make more money under that umbrella of the charity to help themselves, because I think this is where they're getting a lot of their money is through the charity, but disguising it as their work for the charity and where they would be compensated for that, but trying to make money off of it. It's just so deceptive. And I mean, I don't understand why more reporters are not digging into this, and like all these royal experts, their information about these Sussex people, the squad and all that is very surfacial. They don't really go deep into like all this information that they talk about, but they don't really dive deep for it, and
Because this
there's
is
a
too
lot out
corrupt, you
there.
see, because this is too corrupt. And this is
Yeah.
actually something serious which could land Harry in jail.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
So they much rather not dig deep in this, because Richard Eaton did write about this, and I have the article there on May last year.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
nobody, if you know that, it was, and it's incredible that, why it was rejected the first time, Sentebale? Because they refused to provide a name and email address. Just like like Meghan Markle doesn't want to provide where she's, that was the first refusal when they asked him to amend it, was you need to provide a name of who owns it and what you're doing, who is actual owner. You have to provide details of an email address of the legal representative of the organization, that you want to have. You need to have a lawyer in the US. Okay.
Yeah.
So they had to amend that. And then on top of that, everything was too vague. So when this blew up, because what's his name? Richard Eaton did an article, but Sentebale was already aware of this, because of course they got wind of it, because, the International Bureau sends a notice saying Sentebale is there at work. So they found out about it. And this is what I believe. This is just my personal opinion, that this is why Dr. Chandauka got involved, because they knew that, okay, and I'm going to ask you this, and I asked you this yesterday, Pat. What would happen if Harry had successfully managed to trademark Sentebale in the United States? He would have caught under Meghan Markle and Harry's domain. Then he, as it was, he hadn't been back for almost 6 years to Lesotho. He would have cut off that Princeso who's supporting him. He would have cut off all those people. They would have never gotten a cent, and nobody Sentebale in Africa would have struggled, because their main patron is now in the United States, parting it away, raising funds for Sentebale, which is not getting any money, because we know they're shady with that. So this is where you're going to see the difference when Dr. Chandauka got involved. Because I want to tell you something, guys. You know how she's been accused of, that she paid sponsors or consultants. Harry's failing to tell you that in April of last year, he paid Alex Lebec, who worked with the Clinton Foundation as well, 185,000 pounds for consultancy, almost half of the things. And it's because Harry's there with them and Dr. Chandauka in what you might call it, in April. We've seen we've seen them there together when they went there. That Dr. Chandauka is sitting there with Harry and this woman Alex Lebec, who's sitting there as well. And it was in Miami that was held. And Mr. Ian Rawlinson was there as well. Okay, and that was last April. So, but nobody's talking about it. But they wanted to point out that Mr. Ian Rawlinson is getting paid, I think it's 64,000 for one thing and 24,000 for the other. But they forget to mention Alex Lebec. And then Mr. Ian Rawlinson was also in Johannesburg, along with Alex Lebec, who was chosen by Harry since April. So we know that Dr. Chandauka at least has been involved since March. And we're going to see why. Because this is why she's so right. And this is why this woman is ready to go to war. This woman is absolutely ready to destroy Harry.
Yeah, she's not going to make all this uproar and without having her evidence and receipts to back it up.
Yeah. This is in June 5th. They had to amend the amendment and mail process complete 2024. She was already involved because we know that we saw her in April with Harry in Miami and Alex Lebec and Ian Rawlinson. Okay. So we know that Harry approved of Ian Rawlinson and Alex Lebec. And Harry himself chose Alex Lebec, who got again £185,000, almost half of the budget that they're accusing Dr. Chandauka of misspending. Okay. And here you see they have already changed lawyers. And the lawyer is very interesting because this is the very same lawyer that set up the Royal Foundation. So you have here, and I'm sorry, it's not going to be long, but you're going to tell me, you're going to see the difference. This is the same application. Campaigning, namely development of promotional campaigns, organizing and conducting promotional campaigns, public awareness campaigns, namely promoting public awareness of social well-being, emotional and mental well-being, health, education, opportunities for employment, skills building, the creative arts, and climate and environmental issues, volunteer placement services, provision of volunteering opportunities, namely developing and coordinating volunteer projects for charitable organizations, recruitment of volunteers, charitable services, namely organizations and management of activities of volunteers relating to community projects, compilation, maintenance of data, updating of data, and administration of data of computer databases, including supporter and donor databases, advisory, consultancy, and information services related to all of the aforementioned services. That's one. Charitable fund. Listen, this is the one where the money comes. Look how different it is. Charitable fundraising, arranging charitable collections, namely charitable fundraising, management of charitable funds, monitoring in the nature of managing of charitable funds, and payment processing of funds in the field of donations to charity, financial grant making, namely providing grants for initiatives for social well-being, emotional and mental well-being, health education, opportunities for employment, skills building, the creative arts, and climate and environmental issues. And the second one, I mean, it continues the same: educational and training services, namely providing conferences, seminars, courses, basically teaching people how to survive and get skills, right? Workshops, classes, and interactive educational exhibitions and exhibits in the field of social well-being, emotional and mental well-being, health education, opportunities for employment, skills building, the creative arts, and climate and environmental issues, organizing of conferences, seminars, courses, workshops, and other events in the nature of classes in the field of social well-being, emotional and mental well-being, health education, opportunities for employment, skills building, the creative arts. And this is the great part. It says, and advisory, consultancy, and information services related to all of the aforementioned services, which means that everything was not to be charged. All of this was to be donated and charity driven.
Right. It's very clear.
But you can see the difference between that and what Harry wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, and he wanted to leverage the existing reputation and just make it his own, right? They were going to take it and take it out of country and do their own thing with it.
Yeah.
They
And
wanted
this is,
to use that reputation as opposed to their own.
yep. And this is the lawyer that works with the Royal Foundation as well. I'm just saying. So can we see the difference? And this is why when Dr. Chan, this is why it was approved. Because originally, guys, it was denied. And I can show you that why it was denied when it got denied, because we can see the documents for that. If you want, I can show you that. I mean, it was officially denied. And this is when I guess Harry thought that by getting Dr. Chandauka, she could get this through. Except that when Dr. Chandauka saw what he was seeking, she said, you can't do that.
Yeah. I think the
Because
receipts are going to be very interesting. when she
Yeah, I
comes
can show you
forward.
that. It's all here, guys. I mean, it's all here because you can see when it was refused. It was refused. Let me see, first refusal note, and I'm going to share with you guys. It was on December 18th, 2023. It says it's been refuted. Let me show you that one. So basically, Harry wanted to monetize and ditch. It's my feel is that he wanted to ditch it.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to take it too, though. He wanted to take the reputation. He wanted to take the name, build a brand himself after.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Pat? Oh, Pat, what do you think, Pat?
I had got kicked out.
I didn't kick you out.
I know I was trying to log in to connect my channel and it kicked me out.
Oh, okay. But you're connected. Lizzie B, thanks for donating
Oh,
a
thank you, Lizzie.
membership.
Wow.
Michelle, thanks for donating
Well,
$9.99 to Pidina. Oh shit, there, guys. I want to say thank you. When I'm reading stuff, I don't see the communication. So Pidina, you have to stay on top of it.
yeah, I just saw it too. So
And
yeah.
then we have Princess Carol question. Why would H want to trademark Sentebale? Can you take that, Pidina?
Okay, so say that one more time.
This is Princess Carol question. Why would Harry want to trademark Sentebale?
Well, Harry wouldn't. Meghan would. Meghan would want to do it. If this is all her doing, she's come in and taken over all of Harry's, things, monetizing it. Like I said in my video yesterday, she comes in and sees all the things that Harry's doing, and she's looking at all the things she can monetize around Harry's brand. I mean, she has her own brand, and then she sees what Harry could be branding, and she's taking over things that she thinks she can make money from that's related to Harry. And so she's the one behind all of this. So Harry's not thinking about trademarking anything. He never thought about leaving, I think, to go to live in California. I think alone, I mean, it may have crossed his mind, but Meghan is the person that has implemented all of this. And so Meghan is just trying to monetize all the things around Harry. And Harry falls for it as if, he can make it look like he's the one doing it, but it's not true. It's Meghan doing it. She's taken over everything about this man. So, I think for his own well-being, he needs to start thinking for himself, because this woman is going to get him into a lot of trouble. No doubt. She's doing things that are just not responsible. I mean, who tells people, the Netflix people have them sign NDAs around products that you're selling to consumers? Like, why is that a secret? Why would you want that to be a secret? Unless you were doing something that wasn't okay. That's the only time you would want it to be secret. If you are on the up and up about everything that you're doing, you want full transparency. And because she doesn't want transparency, lets you know she's doing something that she knows doesn't look good. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care that she's doing these things that are secretive, because it's about, her just being in her ego and what she wants, and trying to do it her way, even though the government has things in place to protect consumers. This is the part where I think she's getting in very dangerous territory, when she's in the consumer realm of trying to use her shadiness. I mean, you can do that all around your PR, your public persona, but when you start selling to consumers, we have rights and we're protected by the government. And she clearly is not following the rules of the government that are put in place to protect people like us when we buy things. So it speaks volumes, around Meghan and what she's doing around everything. I mean, look, she tried to monetize being a member of the royal family until the queen put a stop to it. Okay. So now she's going as far as she can with what she can do with Harry now that he's no longer connected to his own family anymore. That's all this is.
Yeah, this was completely refused in January. This is Sentebale. This was totally refused in January. It has the date there. Can you guys read the date, because I'm without the glasses here. On January 4th, 2024, it was completely refused with how Harry had it, which it was basically a business. And Can you imagine all those children? Because this is what makes me sick to my stomach, guys. Okay, because this idiot is the kind of man that they would have left the children. We know that they don't donate anything to anybody.
Hmm. Yeah. So, I think Megan specifically is really trying to latch onto the high profile of Sentebale as
Mhm.
a way for donations to come in. I mean, like what she did with Invictus, how she's somewhat taken over Invictus and trying to use that to merch her clothing when she's at the games. And so using the high profile status of Sentebale around orphaned and afflicted children around HIV AIDS, she's trying to monetize off of the back of that tragic story, that tragic brand of helping these vulnerable youth. I mean, is that not disgusting? That's horrible. I mean, that to me, I think Megan is the most despicable person. And I'm just surprised more people are not really calling her out around this trademark issue.
Well, it's never mind the trademark, because the trademark is irrelevant. It's at your own risk. If I mean, it's not a smart business. If you start selling products and somebody thinks, "Oh, this is a great," do you know the project that I'm involved in, Pat? That
Mhm.
I have to. I was forced to sign, and now I am
Mhm.
understanding more why I have to sign a confidential agreement, because if they find out about it, they can copy the thing that we're doing. And
Right.
nothing we
Mhm.
can do. Now I get it.
Yeah, you have to protect yourself because there are a lot of shady people out there who are just looking to steal things from people, and if you don't protect yourself, it will be taken from you. But yeah, I mean, I know what you were saying about the trademark and how, like, but you have to read into, even though at the surface it doesn't look like much, her trademarking all of these things, but there is definitely a motive
Mhm.
behind that trademark,
Mhm.
and when you look at what the motive could be, that's when you get deception. That's when you get the side eye. That's when you start looking at, like, what? Why are you doing all of these things? And I just am finding it just unbelievable. Really, it's just crazy how this woman is. I mean, we were talking about this woman for a while, and really the true nature of who she is at her core. I'm starting to really peel back what that really look like now. It's not good. Harry's in a world of hurt. I'm telling you, he really is.
Well, you know what? I don't feel. I know you and I are completely different. This I don't feel sorry for him, Pat, at all whatsoever.
I'm
What
not feeling sorry for him either, but I know he's in a world of hurt that's going to be coming his way.
oh, good.
I mean, yeah,
Well,
Maybe it'll be
karma.
the wake up call he needs because
yeah,
he's so isolated and whatnot. I mean,
yeah.
just amazing what she's been
Yeah.
able to do.
No, yeah, and the thing is that we're going to show you something here. I'm going to show you something here because, for example, with Sentebale, when Arch one, when Megan tried to trademark it, she got the same thing. It was too general. The terms were too
Mhm.
general, so she had to keep amending and amending and amending because the terms were too general. This is why I tell you that it's her behind it, because she's that stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So, really quickly, I just saw these some of these other super stickers.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
really
Sorry,
quick.
guys. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Okay,
Oh,
Michelle.
Sassy
Oh,
Madeline.
Sassy Madeline. Wow, thank you.
Michelle.
Michelle, my friend, twice, two super stickers. Lizzie B.
Felicity.
Lizzie B showing up again with a membership. Thank you, Neely Ford. And we answered the question from Princess Carlisle
Lady
and
Leticia.
Lady Letitia. Oh, hello, Lady Letitia.
Yeah.
That's that stupid stuff. What
Yeah.
is that your name? As ever, hi, ladies. Hello, Letitia.
Yeah.
And Beth Mo McIver. Everyone hit that like button. Yes, everyone hit that like button. Thank you so much,
Definitely.
Beth. And for all the super stickers. Wow. And chats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And,
you.
and I'm going to show you guys why Megan is such an imbecile. And I'm sorry,
Yes.
but that's the only word I can think of, guys.
And she
Because
is an imbecile.
I'm going to show you what needs to happen before. Okay, you make something ready for publication, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And when they review, they say all the documents are in place. This is what it means, right? And I'm going to show you here. This is the notice, public note. Let me see, change of address. And then we have, this is in September. This is when they fixed everything in June 5th, right? And then in September, after they looked at everything, on July 9th, they published the notice of opposition notice that it's called, guys. Okay. Which has to be on the Gazette. And I mean, you can look at all the documents here, guys. I'll show you. This is what they have to do. This is Meghan Markle. They still haven't even published it, just so you know, right? So this is her thing here. This is her thing that you can look at. And this is what happened with Sentebale. That they, on July 9th, they have trademark official Gazette publication confirmation that they have to make it public. They have to make it public. So to see if there's anybody who's going to oppose it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So Meghan Markle's thing with the as ever, the one with the pancake, because it's not the jam. It's not the jam that she got even published on that she got authorization. So she has to wait for the United States Patent Office to publish it in the trademark official Gazette publication for that, because
Yeah.
otherwise she can't. And then they have to wait if they oppose it or not. Okay. So, and then you have, and then they got the IB opposition notice here. I mean, guys, you have all the documentation here, and I do not understand how nobody they had an issue because there was somebody apparently who had an opposition, and I'm going to show you here. See, it says notification of opposition possible. See,
Mm-hmm.
this is for the international registration. Because even though in September they were registered in the United States in September 20, I'll show you when they got registered in September 24th. Okay, they got their registration certificate on September 24th, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Here, that's the receipt. See, Pat?
Let's see. Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
in September 2024. Sentebale became trademark in the United States.
In the United States, yes. So, okay. So this was after the one that was denied in May.
In January.
Yeah, and in May. Remember from the article from Eden?
Yeah. Well, Eden found out about it in May. And in May is when Dr. Chandauka took over and they changed lawyers and they changed everything. He found out that Harry's thing had been denied and had been having issue in May because somehow it got leaked because Dr. Chandauka took over and changed lawyers. So somehow he found out about it.
Okay. Okay.
But
So that could be the case. I don't remember when I looked at it, but
no, he published it in May. I
in May.
have the article here. I have the article and I will show it
Yeah.
later.
So
But it was
basically, they were still, after they got denied, still trying to go in and find ways to get to that. Yes. And that's the tenacity of Meghan. We know that's the kind of person she is, right?
yeah.
So can you go back to that so we can see just a little bit more who the names on that?
Oh, what, Pat? What do you want? No, Sentebale is the owner. Sentebale is the owner.
I know, but I just wanted to look. I just wanted
Sure,
just
sure.
send it to me.
Of
Just send it to me.
of course, please.
I just wanted to look at it a little bit more.
Yes, that'd be wonderful. Yeah, sure. Anything, Pat. You know, you're my boss.
Thank you.
You're my boss. What are you talking about? You know, guys, don't be fool. She bosses me around. This is here, Sentebale,
Okay.
the United Kingdom, company limited by guarantee. So
Mhm.
that's their address, right? That's their
Mhm.
principal register. And basically it went under the class exactly word for word what Dr. Chandauka had said.
Now, what was the state? Remember, we were talking about the different states. Washington D.C.
It was no, the lawyer. You need what you do need is a U.S. lawyer. So that
For the
that
US.
lawyer, yeah, you can be worldwide, but you need U.S. representation. So they chose
Mhm.
the same lawyer that set up the Royal Foundation for Prince William. As long as you have legal representation, and I'm going to show you because it's actually quite interesting, Pat. You want to see
Mm.
that document, guys? I'll show you that document because when they change lawyers, it's very serious. You have to like the change
Request
of
it.
address, yeah, and they have to tell you that the guy is in good legal standing
Mhm.
and the serial number and everything. I mean, yeah, I'll show you here by submission. You see, I'll show you because I mean this is serious, guys. And so when you change lawyers, and this is when they changed it. You see, this was May 17, 2024, that they changed to lawyer David M. Abrahams, who is the lawyer for Prince William in the United States. Okay, so
Mhm.
they changed from Harry's lawyer to Mr. David. But look at all of this. I mean, change address or representation form, Sentebale, and owner section is Sentebale by submission of this request. They hide some information here, okay? For and then it tells you his address,
Mhm.
you know, and docket number reference. They had to tell you that he's in good standing. You need to have his email. You can see all of his details here, right?
Yeah.
Everything, and that he has that he's in good legal standing here, that he's a licensed U.S. licensed attorney who is an active member in good standing of the bar of the highest court of a U.S. state, including the District of Columbia and any U.S. Commonwealth or territory.
Okay, so Paula and Manuela, for you as well, when you look at that, what is your interpretation like on a broader scale? What do you think that means that we have this name registered now under in the states, and the it went through with the attorney, and that's something that I mean, this attorney Williams attorney,
Mhm.
and I mean that's new to me. So what is your interpretation? I'm trying to dig deep onto what we're looking at. Like, what does it mean?
Now,
Why
this
is
is
that?
just before we go. I just want to put this out and see what you guys think, because this was internationally. Now, internationally, Sentebale, the charity organization in Africa, whose offices are in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
are globally trademarked. Nobody can use Sentebale for anything that has to do with charity. They can use it for other purposes. For
Mm-hmm.
example, Harry can trademark Sentebale, but it would have to be for commercial purposes, like he wanted to do to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
It would look bad on him, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's Sentebale can refute it because they can say, you know what, people can that be very confusing because they might confuse us with this commercial organization. But it's interesting that in March 20th, 2025, when they finally got the legal notice that it was worldwide thing, Harry and the entire board quit on the 25th, 5 days
Mm-hmm.
later.
Okay. So okay, so are you thinking under the original purposes of Sentebale being moved over now to commercial for commercial profit? Like what I mean, when you say, and then when you say is Williams attorney, like I'm trying to understand what the bigger picture is. What are you saying?
I don't know, Pat. I just think that I think that Sentebale found out about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
found out, and when Harry couldn't trademark it for himself, he went and said, "Okay, let's get Dr. Chandaukan because he's used to people doing whatever he wants." Right? I'm going to show you here the lawyer. This is the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry, which was trademarked in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show you who the lawyer is. Okay. So we get this. I just think that maybe Dr. Chandauka saw what was coming and she needed help because she knew this was a shit mess.
So you think she reached out then to
This is
the
the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Prince Harry, right? It was canceled. They canceled it because they had included Meghan.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go back up. I'm sorry. I need to see that again. The Royal Foundation. Okay, so this was In the big, okay, that's with both of their names on there. Okay.
No, and it used to be,
And Prince, yeah, in the beginning before he was married. Yes, I know. Okay.
and then they included, when you go to the procurement here, I hear prosecution history on April 4th, they included Meghan Markle in 2019. This is change of name. They included the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I can show you the document if you
Let
want,
me
but
see. I mean, I don't see it. Wait, where?
it's right here. I can show you the document where
Change of name, address. Yeah, let's see the change of name that has the Sussex name.
yeah, they had it there. This is in April. So I'm going to go to the documents, guys, here. Documents. I'm going to go on April 4th. This is the great thing because you can go here and look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sorry, it brings you to another thing. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go to the other document because it always jumps to another window. So I apologize for that it looks messy. Here. You see, this is on April 4th, 2019. The Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Okay, so that was
April 4th, 2019.
Okay. Now, when did they? Okay,
In November.
2019
And then in November, they killed it that same year.
of 2019.
Yeah. So I knew. So they must have known by November that Harry and Meghan were planning to do anything. And this is after they already opened their own Sussex Royal Craft.
Okay, so they went. Remember when they were on the stage together, the Fab Four?
Yeah, that's before they got married.
Right, but that was in 2018.
Yes.
Right? Okay. But they knew even at that time, because of what Meghan did on stage,
Yeah.
that this
Yeah.
is not going to work out, right? I'm so shocked and surprised that they would even do that the following year.
They were still trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly. They were still trying to work with her to make it work out, even though they knew she was trying to derail and go off and do her own thing. Isn't that just crazy? How she just, I don't know. I just can't believe they still would go through all that hassle to put their name on that, knowing that they really did not want to include her.
They were doing it with good intention.
And this is the new Royal Foundation. This is the new Royal Foundation. Let me see. Where's the new Royal Foundation? No, that's not it. Not it. That's the new Royal Foundation that they opened without. That's just the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And here you have, for example, the owner's information. Is the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge? They're the ones that the mark information. And this is where I say about the names. Remember when we were having the whole thing that Meghan wants to be Sussex? It says here the names are His Royal Highness William Arthur Philip Louis Mountbatten Windsor, the Duke of Cambridge, and Her Royal Highness Catherine Elizabeth Mountbatten Windsor, the Duchess of Cambridge. So I've done so many videos about this, and people are still saying that she could call herself Sussex. I don't understand it. But guess who the lawyer is?
Who's the lawyer?
David M. Abrahams, the same one that Dr. Chandauka that took over in May for the whole mess of this thing.
So
he knows what he's doing.
Manuela, so are you thinking exactly what Paul is thinking then about the name for Sentebale and the attorney for William? They've come in and they've kind of taken over, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that they're trying to protect the brand, right? So they've come in, that they know what they're doing, so they can internationally sew it up so it can't be stolen or rebranded in a different way. I think that's the whole plan. I know that, and I go back from my experience, we have an international brand. Our brand is international. But there was a time when there was someone in another country that tried to take the name from us. So we had to physically get a lawyer there and have it re-registered, and we had to fight it, right? And it took about 1.5 years or so. And now and that's kind of like you can assume that your brand is protected to a certain extent. But in some countries, if you don't actually go to the registrar and register it, somebody else could take it from you. And maybe this is what's happened with Meghan and Harry, that they tried to take it for North America or for the United States, fumbled it. It sent the signal to the real charities saying, wait a minute, we really need to do an international protection here, or at least North America. And then they gave it to the person who knows what they're doing, right? So they're obviously going with the same lawyer and the same protocol. And I think it is a royal charity, right? So wouldn't it default to the Home Office anyways when you think about it? It would
It's no longer
automatically
royal. It's
default
not a
that
royal
way?
charity. It's not a royal charity
No?
anymore. No, it
Not
used to
anymore?
be. It was set up, by the way. It used to be. It was set up by St. James Palace. It wasn't set up by Harry. Their office is St.
The
James
palace.
Palace.
For him, yeah.
So wouldn't they kind of be the Home Office, and wouldn't they be the ones that basically would say, okay, because we're the original owner or the original concept, from our authority, we will make sure that it's internationally
Yeah,
protected?
I think so, Paula. You don't? I think it would default to the original.
No, because we've seen the reports, right? I shown you the reports of Sentebale from 2009. The first report, it was not founded in 2006, guys. Okay, that's the first. We've seen the documents back that I showed you. The first report was in 2009 because they maybe came up with the idea because of Harry's scandals and they were trying to erase his thing. And that picture in 2004 went in.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
The first official, and you guys, Pat, I'd be more than happy to show it. I think I've shown it in other places. That the first report for Sentebale was in 2009. It was St. James Palace that did it. Maybe because it took him a year and a half to get it going, and it was also registered worldwide. It was a charity that could work worldwide. So Harry didn't need to trademark Sentebale in the United States. And I don't know, I may be wrong, but my opinion is that he wanted to trademark it. And we've seen what he wanted to use it for. It was not charity.
So he was changing the scope of the brand. That's why he wanted to trademark it.
And
so he wanted to take it. So he's right. He's just trying to leverage the brand while rebranding it.
Yeah. And he threw charitable in there because he had to. So as not to look bad. But then again, the wording there was that he was going to own the funds that came through. And what would have happened? Okay, what would have happened? And this is for real, guys. What would have happened if Harry had managed to successfully trademark Sentebale in the United States? That means that and I can see Meghan being that fucking mean and saying you can no longer call yourself Sentebale in Africa because we own the word. So you are you cannot use Sentebale for the name, and because Harry's the founder, is not going to be in the United States, and we're going to manage because we've seen what Meghan's done with Invictus. Invictus has gone to shit.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But he's not even a founder, right? He's just a patron. So people
he's a patron. Yes, of course. Do you think that Harry, at 20 years of age, snorting coke and all the scandals in 2005, 2006, that guy who he failed the test and Eden had to approve him. Do you think that he had the wherewithal of creating a multinational foundation? Of course.
No, this is something his family gave him to stay out of trouble. They tried to make him busy, and they tried to hopefully, spark some interest and purpose in this guy, right?
And to whitewash his image. And if you listen to Mr. Ian Rawlinson, guys, he says that when Sentebale Foundation was created, he doesn't say that when Harry created Sentebale, and that his work was very appreciated. So words matter because this man is very smart. So they're both very smart. And I think what would have happened then? What would have happened? Who would have given Sentebale wouldn't have been able to call themselves Sentebales in Africa. It would have had to be in the United States. Harry hadn't been back in Lesotho for 5.5 years. Do you think that if he had registered that for commercial purposes and throw in a little paragraph of we are going to manage the money and fundraise it and decide who we give it to, just like Archwell?
That's what he was trying to do because that's what Dr. Sophie said that he was trying to do.
Right.
So that's where all of this is. This is what it's leading to, and these I think are the receipts that she's going to mention. It is so scandalous. I mean, if that's what officially comes out when they have the
Well, you can
investigation.
clearly see because now they're trying to shift the blame that she spent a lot of money in lawyers. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
started that, you asshole, Ginger. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what really bothers me, Pat? That I've
Mm,
heard royal reporters saying that how undignified of Dr. Sophie Chandauka to have to come out. She had to because this man left her no option because he went and dirtied.
it-
He dirtied her up, and he has a much bigger platform, guys.
exactly.
Yes, he
Now,
does.
by going public, she was able to sidestep his profile. She was able to like be bigger than what his well, how he comes, because she said it herself. When he comes into the room, people cower down. They don't really have the courage to do anything. Well, I bet you if she goes to the news media and she kind of puts it all out there, then she's raised her profile. She's essentially sidestepped Harry and what he brings to the room, and she's made herself a lot bigger now. And I think, yeah, like you were saying, she essentially she had to come out. She had to bring this
Had to.
information forward
I think
because
she was nominated, or I think that she was put there
by
because
other
But I
people.
think by the palace. I really
Yeah,
do think because the palace could see where this was going. I gotta
yeah,
tell you.
yeah,
Okay,
I have a sneaking suspicion
I'm
too.
gonna
It's
fucking
almost
say
like, yes, go ahead. You go out
yeah.
there and
Because
I'm
there's
work for
gonna
the
put it
team.
out here. I'm gonna put it out here. Prince William, I love you. I adore you, sir. I'm sure that Prince William was keeping an eye on this because he actually truly cares. Because believe it or not, this was created on the memory of his mother. And
that's
he
right.
cares for his mother's memory.
And
And
any
he's not gonna let that skanky claw,
uh,
disgusting, smelly, poor dancer of a bad mouth woman with so many fake veneers fuck
do-
off with his mother's legacy.
exactly, because this is the thing. I think with it being in the memory of Diana, we have to always remember William's
William,
not going to let Shady Harry go out and do anything in his mother's memory as well. He's
Yeah.
going to have his hand in it, whether it's with a public profile or not. He's going to be lurking in the backgrounds. What are you doing? And he's going to make sure that things are not going to go south. And I think that's what's happened here. And this is why she was able to go public. She was able to go public, Dr. Sophie, and she made it known in the way she did because he has to have his hand in it as well. I mean, it's his mother too, and we can never forget that. It's not just Harry's mother. Really quickly, I had a super sticker from Jan, my friend Jan. I want to say hello, Jan. She sent me one. Thank you so much, dear.
where is she? Did I miss it?
No, she was under Michelle's name, so she.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you. Sorry
Jan.
about that.
Thank you,
I
sweetie.
believe that William was being kept appraised of all of this and he
Yeah,
was seeing what was happening. And you know what? He knew that it was because everybody can see what's happening with Invictus.
yep.
Everybody can see
Yeah.
what's happening with Invictus. Invictus is a ticking time bomb, guys.
Yep, I said it in my video. It's going to be next. I'm telling you, Megan's got her. I mean, didn't we already hear reports about that? We heard
Yeah.
reports that people weren't happy. The people that are participating in the games, the families, they weren't happy with the new direction of Invictus. The reports were out there, and it's just a matter of time before it happens, where they're going to also be embroiled in some kind of controversy around the charity, the money, the families, all of that. It just makes so much sense that it would be. But I find it also interesting that Meghan hasn't said not one thing to support Harry in what he's going through with Sentebale. That girl is.
And you know what? She's the one who created it. She's the cause of it. And then she just, you know what? He's been Jessica Mulrooney'd.
Yeah, yeah, Harry. I mean, you look on her now. She might change it now, but if you go on her Instagram, the only photo she has on her personal Instagram
So her.
is her and Harry, of that old photo of them kissing when on Valentine's Day. I forget when it was for, but like there is, but she'll have photos of the kids behind the behind their head kind of shots, the what do you see kind of a shot. But there is something definitely shady happening with the relationship, as you can see from the Instagram, because if anything, that's where you put things to
Well,
show.
she started it in 2022. And I said this in 2022. I did the video, guys. I sent you the video. I showed you guys the video. I did a video where I showed my video in 2022 where I said Meghan is getting ready to dump Harry. She already has her Instagram account because when I showed it in my video, it had little flowers, peonies, right? And I said at the time, this bitch is Meghan because Serena Williams is following her. Why would Serena Williams be following this account? That was my biggest, and people call me crazy. And I said, I know sources have told me that Meghan Markle is already looking for a book. I've shown the clip of the video that I did in 2022, June 2022, you know? And then it comes out that she set up her, it was within 5 years, right? Because she got married in 2018. My opinion is that she thought that by 2023 she was going to be divorced. She thought that that thing with Harry and Meghan was going to be a huge success. Everybody was going to look for her and she was going to be A-lister. Remember how she was saying she was only going to work with A-listers and
yeah, only A-list directors.
now she's working with Daniel.
The family hasn't kicked her out. Like, I'm really surprised it's actually lasted this long, that she's been able to get away with so much. I'm sure she thought she could only do this for so long.
Right.
Before it would all come apart,
exposed.
you know. But they have a long-term strategy. I'm sure this is torture for them.
Oh yes. And now I forgot. I know what I wanted to mention, guys. Do you guys remember? Okay, I took it down, but I'm gonna show it to you guys before I remove it. I'll show it to you guys because in USPTO with Archwell, when you have Archwell. When you have the Archwell thing, right? It's not it. That's not the one I want. USPTO and Archwell, it tells you that Cobblestone is the LLC because if you look at the other ones, they don't put the name of the LLC, right?
Okay.
But on Archwell Foundation, they did. And I was able to look at the Cobblestone thing, at the thing, right? And let me see, it's right here. Mark information, and in the documents you can see that here. Owner, I'm just looking for the owner, guys. Just one moment. Current owner. Here, I'm going to share it with this. And then when you look at this, they created an Instagram account that has that there. Because now when you look at their who owns, for example, the other things, they only have LLC, right? For as ever. Right? So when you go Cobblestone Lane LLC, right? This is the one with Archwell. Okay, and it hasn't been it's a service trademark. They have the Archwell here thing here. Okay, so it's registered. But when you look, so I'm going to show you. So she's been around. She's been lying to everybody when she says that they weren't on. It's just that we weren't looking. You know what I mean? So I'm going to show you her Instagram account there, and it's private, of course. Archwell Studio, Cobblestone Lane LLC.
Oh.
Yeah, and when you go here about this account, they changed the name, but it won't tell you which name it was from. They changed the name once. I believe that they changed the name. Meghan changed the name here, and it was her account.
So she thought it was going to be Cobblestone.
Yes, Cobblestone Lane LLC Archwell Studio, but it's of course private. And you can even check who's following her, who she's following. You don't know who she's following.
She has
or who her follow because it's completely private. But we know that she had this. This was about this account. This was in November 2020. They were no November. They were already in the no. When did they leave? In 2020, right?
Yeah.
So this is in 2020. Yeah, this account. Because I don't think she closed her Meghan account. I just think she made it private or undisclosed. So my opinion is that Prince William got a wind of Harry was trying to use Sentebale or Meghan Markle to commercialize everything because everything that Meghan Markle touches turns to shit. And they said, you know what? There must be some legal documents because when we go, guys, to Sentebale, for example, when we go to Sentebale charity, here, I'll show you the Sentebale. We've done the Sentebale thing, right, Pat? And
Yeah.
then I'll show you the original, the first, uh, I can show you. I mean, the thing is that everything is online, and I don't know why these reporters don't look for this. Why haven't any of these reporters reported that Harry was trying to trademark Sentebale for commercial purposes? I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, Richard Eden, he did.
I'll show you what the thing is. So you'll see, guys. This is Sentebale. The first report was in 2009. Here, and when you click on it, did it go to another page, or are you still seeing it? It went to another page.
It's seeing the annual report for the
I'm
audited.
gonna take you to
Student
the other.
download.
I apologize. I'm gonna take you to the other page. Then I'm gonna take you to the report page because this is very old. It's hard to read, so I'm gonna try to make it as. You see the company name? Are you guys seeing it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you
Sentebale
see?
financial statements for year
This
ended. Okay.
is 2009. So this was from 2008 to August 2009. So we know that Sentebale was founded and approved in 2008, not 2006.
Right. Yeah.
And then you go here, a legal and administrative information. And this is the interesting part. The trustees are Damien. Look who's here. Dr. Sophie Chandauka.
Oh, and yeah. She started out as a patron.
Right?
Yeah, but she was a trustee as well
Trustee. Yeah.
No,
at the
yeah.
very
Okay.
beginning.
So I'm sorry. But then she became the board chair later in 2023.
Yes, they appoint
Yeah.
her. She was a trustee, but look,
And then
she
she
was
went
there from the
away,
beginning.
And then she left.
came back.
Okay. Yeah.
But look who was there from the beginning, Dr. Sophie Chandauka.
Yeah. And she was there. I think you have to mind that at a professional level woman, and Harry was still quite young at the time.
He was still learning how to wipe his ginger ass.
Yeah. So she would have had information going way back, even before she was the board chair,
I think she was appointed. I think she was part of the creation of Sentebale. She was one of the advisors. And then you have
Yeah.
register office and principal address, St. James Palace.
Mm-hmm. So she's definitely got the approval of the palace. She's definitely representing the palace, Dr. Sophie.
And Ian Rawlinson.
And yeah, and Ian. Yep.
So I want to see here about Sentebale. I want to see, let's get to see where Harry's names, and you can see the expenditure here, like where they were getting. You don't see Harry's name anywhere.
Nope.
You see Sentebale, you see the trustees, but you don't see Harry. We've looked for this. Remember, Pat?
Yeah.
There's nothing here. The names of Harry and Prince Seiso. I think there's a family Seiso that's mentioned up here. Morena Matsufa Seiso, chief of this. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I don't want to kill that name. I don't want to be disrespectful. Okay, but this is the report. It says accounting and charities issued by the Charity Commission in April. The report has been prepared in accordance. They're just going on here, but here there's no name of patrons here, guys. None. It was St. James Palace who created Sentebale, and Harry and Seiso were named as royal patrons
After the fact.
after the fact. And Dr. Chandauka has been there from the beginning.
From the beginning.
But she went away for a while, right? Because remember,
Yeah, because
even
she's
when,
a busy woman. She was studying and all kinds of crap,
but
She's-
also, I think she did the right thing too, because when you sit on a board, you rotate out. You don't stay for 20 years or 15 years. You stay 3 years, 5 years. You rotate.
Yeah.
So there's an integrity to the board, and I think that that's also part of what
Yeah,
she
you
was
have to.
highlighting was the fact that these people have stayed for almost 20 years and they're marking their own homework now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
That's
not really what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she says, turkeys don't vote for Christmas. I love
that.
Yeah. So as you can see, there is no notes from the founders or anything because they were not the founders. It was, and I don't understand why people keep saying that Harry is the founder of no, he wasn't.
Well, I think they wanted him to be the public persona of the
A
founder.
patron, absolutely, the
Yeah,
patron.
yeah, but behind the scenes, as always, they are doing the grunt work. They're doing the legal things, and Harry
Right.
is not a part of that. And I think when Harry became attached to Meghan, someone who wants to be savvy around, Harry's dealings, putting her paws in his dealings, then you got somebody who is not really knowing how to do these things because they've always been done for him. So she
Right.
comes in and she tries to take over, and and the palace is like, hold up, wait a minute, sister girl. We
What you
are the
doing?
ones that are
What you
managing
doing?
in the back end. We're the one managing Harry's dealings, not
Yeah.
you. But she's
Yeah.
trying to take it over now as the wife, clearly, and that's the problem because Harry now is in some situation that I think he doesn't really understand because
He's
he's
good.
always been as this patron, this person that can just call the shots because, well, my family, he knows has started all of this and done the paperwork, but he's calling these shots. And Dr. Sophie is realizing that, hey, I know the legalities of this. I've been there from the beginning. I know that you're not allowed to do this. It's inappropriate. And Harry's in his big ego with Meghan, thinking that they can just come run roughshod over the charity and its work and what they want to happen. So Harry has just come into his consciousness of what he thinks he can do because he's older now with Meghan, and he's going to be, I think, mistakenly, he's going to be revealed as somebody who is not going to be allowed to do what he's trying to do. He's going to understand, I think, later that he didn't have the strong arm that he thought he had. I think he hasn't really appreciated the work of the royal family. He hasn't really appreciated what they do when it comes to this very serious, like, filings, the rules, the policies, how you run charities, because that's not something that he would even think about.
Right.
He's very superficial, I think, in his thinking because he's a prince.
No, because he's never had to do it. This
He's
is
never had to do it. He's never. Yeah.
this is why I'm so glad, because I've been yelling at this for years, that Harry has never had to do anything for himself. That when the palace, and I've been saying this because I know Claudia Salas is in love with Prince Harry still. Claudia, shame on you. It's like the palace was in charge. Every time you saw Harry get in trouble, oh, let's create Sentebale. Because in 2004 was the Eton scandal. In 2000, well, let's not forget 2005, Hail Hitler. That thing. He has never been. And then, of course, at age 16 with the marijuana thing, that Charles made him go one whole day to rehab or something like that. In 2006, the racist things, and I think that it was 2006 the turning point when they decided to create Sentebale, because it took them about a year and a half to create it. And this is why in 2008, when it was created, that's why you have the first report in 2009. But Harry is not a co-founder, not according to the original documents. St. James Palace was the then Prince Charles' office. Harry does, to this day, Harry doesn't know how to wipe his little balls. Okay, guys. But this is what I've been saying. This man has never had to do. And in the Vanity Fair, remember when he was interviewing employees and he was saying, so what do I do now? What am I supposed to do now? Because he would come to the palace and say, I want you to set me up with Obama. When Obama leaves, I want the first interview. And Buckingham Palace would organize it for him. And it's like, this is why Obama. Who did Obama give the first interview after he left his presidency?
Harry.
And he was in Canada. He even went to Canada to give Harry the interview.
Yep.
Yeah. He had a very big reach. He had a lot of power, but he's trying to do
He's
something.
used to that. He's used to that.
He's used to being a spoiled brat, getting his way, but now
Just
he's
like
in
Meghan.
an institution. Yeah,
Just like
well,
Meghan.
exactly. Well, they raise monsters, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just raise kids who have no boundaries.
I have to ask you, ladies. Meghan, to me, seems like she's in the discarding stage, at least since 2022. But I think that things didn't go as well as planned in 2022 with the Harry and Meghan ship. So she had to stick around even longer.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think in her mind now that because Netflix is why isn't Netflix distributing her product? Shouldn't they have been the first ones to didn't they pay her the big bucks to distribute her products
Yeah.
according to everybody?
Yeah.
I, I
And
think they don't have a plan. This is why
yeah.
they're not distributing anything. It's probably such a mess. Like the products are not ready. Nothing's ready. The labels aren't right. She's probably undermining herself constantly because she wants to be in charge and so famous that she's her own worst enemy, like at this point.
She really is.
She's got all this opportunity. Can you imagine you, me, any one of us who we've, worked our lives or whatever, someone gives us opportunities like this, we'd be right there, walking through the door, working it, rolling up our sleeve, making sure everything is ready and to fulfill that because we understand we're grateful for the opportunity. She's almost like she disparages every single opportunity given to her. It's like the opposite reaction and
Yeah.
the opposite motivation. It's just mind blowing, and you can take something as beautiful as a charity or something that's doing good, and then you see the potential. You say, well, that's money for me. Let me
Yeah.
steal that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
let me ride on that coattail because I'm so deserving.
That's exactly how I see it.
And then he's going to the UK next week. And I've been saying this. If you go to my earlier videos, people have asked him why he wants the protection, why he's fighting so hard for the protection. It has
Oh,
nothing to do with IPP. What it has to do is with the following. Harry wants to set a precedent that if he says you have to have security in the United Kingdom, then he's going to say, wait a minute. If you said that I need to have security in the United Kingdom, you need to provide security for me elsewhere. So he wants the UK taxpayers to give them bodyguards for life, like he had.
Yeah.
Because he's going to say, wait a minute. So I'm not only facing danger in the United Kingdom, now because this is the kind of man he is. He's just as bad as Meghan, as persistent because he wants it for status and also because he's cheap and he is paying for the security. But if
Mm.
he gets the security that he wants, then because you give him out a cookie, he will want a glass of milk. Then you have to give him another cookie. Then if he does get that, then he's going to say, "I don't just need it in the UK. I also need it in the US." And then he's going to start a fight with the courts to get bodyguards, and the UK taxpayers are in charge of that.
Yeah,
That's
they're gonna have
US.
to pay.
with
Yeah.
the
And I wanted to show
status,
you something.
he also gets like with the status is not just security, right? Because with the IPP status, also there's confidentiality and
No, no,
privacy.
no, 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 no.
No.
No, the IPP, no, guys, the IPP status, it can be anybody, really. It can be somebody that you never even heard of. It doesn't have to be a public person. It could be somebody in a diplomatic status. It could, you know what, even in the private sector. It depends. IPP status is a high-ranking individual within its field that can face risks depending on his profession or her profession. Okay.
Mhm.
And that what it's not IPP, is not VIP. It's internationally protected person. For
Right.
example, the president of the World Bank, or like people like that.
Mhm.
Or I worked once with somebody who's not it's not even major, that you wouldn't even know his names or anything, but they were IPP because of the nature of their work. They were high level negotiators, and because their names were in certain documents that people can get because they were negotiating in really, really delicate situations. They create a lot of enemies because of the things and the place that they went. So they become IPP. So you don't have to be famous, you don't have to be royal. It's just the nature of what you do that causes danger.
Mhm. Mhm.
For example, Victoria Beckham is not an IPP, but she's a celebrity, which is what
Right.
Harry is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Zara Tindall, she's not an IPP, yet she is the niece of the King of England, the
Yes.
daughter
Mhm.
of the Princess Royal. But she's not an IPP. She does not have bodyguards. She travels everywhere, and she's not an IPP. Eugenie and Beatrice are not IPPs,
No, they don't have the bodyguards.
and the ones that they have were paid for by the Queen, and I think that now Charles is paying for it. But but you know what I mean. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
and 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 even when Eugenie and Beatrice were fifth and sixth in line before, because their bodyguards were taken. This is what people don't know the history, guys. When Eugenie and Radek took security away from Eugenie, tax funded security from Eugenie and Beatrice, when they were fifth and sixth in line to the throne, where Harry is right now. And I
Yes.
remember Prince Andrew made a stink about it out there. And then the Queen said, fine, I'll pay for it. But then they can't be traveling because they were partying all over the world and they were costing the taxpayers almost
Yeah.
£2 million. So that's why Radek said, we can't do this. They're not even, the threat level is not there. Now,
Right.
and this is a legitimate question that I'm going to put out to you guys. If you see a busy highway and you go stand and walk back and forth without any care and you get run over, do you think that you deserve anything? Because that's what Harry's doing with himself by putting 25 people that he killed at the Taliban, the way that he's creating hatred around himself in
Hmm.
order to say, I am a hated person and therefore I need to be protected. Then you know what? Change your skanky ways.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Change your skanky ways. What do you guys think of that?
I think absolutely. I think Harry has just put himself in a predicament to heighten his threat level, but it was of his own doing. And I don't know that it's at that level still. I mean, that just remains to be seen whether or not they're, what he said about the Taliban is still something that they're thinking about. But he's the one that chose to write a book. He's the one that put himself in that position. So I don't think he should be afforded anything because of his own doing. If he were to just shut his mouth and just been a regular person, there would be no threat level for him at all. I mean, I don't know if there still would be, but I don't think it's at the level where he needs to have that kind of protection.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm showing this, guys, because I've heard some people saying that Mr. Ian Rawlinson has nothing to do with William, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see his name is here. I hope I'm not pronouncing his name horribly. Ian Rawlinson. This is the Tusk Trust for Prince William, who is in Africa. He adores, this is one of his things, right? He's in the Development Board Advisory. He is an honorary vice president still.
Mm-hmm.
He was a chair from 2014 to 2020, but he's still present in the task trust. And I want to show you guys because we're going to leave with this because this is funny. This is Meghan. Here. Meghan, before our launch for Us Ever Official tomorrow, I can't go to sleep without giving a huge thanks to the fellas who have been with me on every creative endeavor for over a decade plus. We know I love my girls. I mean, um, Jake Rosenberg, who was allegedly one of her former lovers, Daniel Martin, and I
Wait
don't
a
know
minute. Who was one of her former lover?
Jake Rosenberg. Haven't you seen her with
Hold
him
on,
in
hold on,
Instagram?
hold on,
And you
hold
took
on.
pictures of her naked and everything. I'll send them to you.
Yeah. I just didn't. I think I know who you're talking about. I mean, by name, I don't.
His name is Jake Rosenberg. That's him here.
Okay.
That's him, Jake Rosenberg. See, he's the one who takes pictures of her, but all you have to do is go look at pictures very early on. He was taking naked pictures of her, spending time with her in New York before he got married, and it's like, oh, I don't know what I'd do without you, it's all these things. Now he's married with 2 children and stuff like that. But if you look at his page here, he's photographed some people, but if you go way back, and I'll send you the pictures. I mean, there was something going on with him and Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
So she managed to get a hold of him because through Soho House as well, because he was friends with Marcus Anderson, because he was photographing a lot of very important people. But the interesting thing to me is that she doesn't thank her husband because thanks to her husband, she's able to have Netflix because Netflix wouldn't have.
Right. We know the
And look at
deal.
this. Look at this. Thank you for being the best partners through thick and thin. Harry was, I mean, you know what? I give Harry a lot of flack, but he has come out and defended this skank to the end of the earth. He has abandoned every privilege that he's known. He's abandoned, betrayed, trashed his own family, defending this ugly looking chicken leg bully. And,
Hmm.
and she doesn't even thank her husband for anything.
Yeah, it doesn't even. I mean, the signs are there. The signs are there for sure.
Oh yeah, Megan. And this is her cooking. I don't even do this with city guys. I don't grab a dog while I'm
Not in
cooking.
my kitchen. No.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I saw when she did. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It's like with the dog. Why would you be carrying a dog? And look at that, putting her nose over the food.
I
Megan is
think.
really ugly. I really think, I've been looking and trying to look. I don't know what she's done to her face, but she looks ugly. Look, there she goes where the food is cooking with the hair.
Hmm. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, keep animals out of your
And
kitchen.
here is the label. There's nothing on either side.
Yeah, it's a mock-up.
Look, on this side, there's nothing. So I have to ask you guys, why
Ha-
do you think nobody's talking about this, Pat and Manuela? Why do you think
well,
everybody's just focusing on the website, on
I'm
this?
still. I'm still trying to see the full. I know we didn't see it on both sides, but I'm still trying to see the back of it. I'm still trying to see the
There's nothing
full.
in the back. It's just the side that closed there, and then you have the red thing.
The thing. Okay. I just, yeah, I doubt that she has it because of what she's done. I just think I would like to see, and this reminds me, I did get some jam from American Riviera Orchard sent to me. This spam jam was sent to me.
You mean spam jam?
This was some American Riviera scam jam. I'm sorry, that came to me, and it was sent
Scam
to me.
jam.
Scam jam was sent to me, and this is interesting because it was from this Penelope lady, and it's for a oh shoot, do I even have it in here? I grabbed it so quickly, but I was sent. I was sent it. I was sent this spam jam. And oh, here it is. 100% of all net proceeds benefit the wagsandwalks.org. Um, arscamjam.com. So they sent me some. This is the plum gargler. I've never had this before, but this is what I got. So thank you to the people that sent me this scam jam. Mayor.
That's
Oh.
so funny. That's so cute.
By the way, you're asking me about this is why Manuela knows a lot about labeling, and I know too because she knows for skincare. I know it for food. But this is the skincare I use, guys, and I will leave the link at the on the video description and on the pinned comment later when we're done, because you have to go to her to hear her things are fantastic, and you just start with building your routine where you take a quiz and then you say what you want, okay? And right now you have 30%. Happy National Vitamin C Day.
On vitamin C products. Yeah, it's vitamin C day. We
I
need
just
vitamin C.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we
this
did.
is
Yeah, it's at least you'll get your vitamin C that way. You won't, and maybe from the scam jam, but probably not from the other. I think maybe part of what she's doing is a mock-up. We're looking at the photographs there for isomers, right? Looking at the products.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we do mock-ups, like we don't have the actual product. Say, for example, we're launching April 1st, and we have a photo shoot 2 weeks before, and the labels are late. Then we have a mock-up one. It's not the real one. Maybe she's doing a mock-up, but somebody's got to have the real product, and maybe that's why there is no real product.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. These are mock-ups, and this is why everything looked like it was sold out, because she can't sell it yet, like to the consumers, because it's not legal yet.
Unless you wake up, like the only way you can make a product that quickly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Paula, but either she's getting somebody else's recipe and just sticking their label on it, but starting from scratch, there's so much that has to be done and
no,
registered.
no, okay. What I think she's doing is the following. the problem, and I said this about a week and a half ago, Pat, I told you, I think you and I had this conversation 2 weeks ago, that I heard that she was having issues with the FDA because she's refusing to say where the products are being manufactured. You and I have, Pat and I nagged Pat to death, guys, because I said that is a big no, because she has to notify
You have
the
to.
FDA by law,
Yeah.
especially in the United States, guys, you know. And so and I told you, Pat, that I heard through a contact about 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, that she was having issues with this because she's refusing to say where she's getting their products from. And the only reason why she's doing that is probably because she's getting them from some place that is very cheap and
Yeah.
disgusting, and she wants to sound posh,
Yeah.
because the image that she's selling is that she's posh.
Very
So
posh.
out of vanity, if you find out that this is coming from a place that is like probably costs like 50 cents and is not as posh as she says it is, then the whole image, with the unveiling of the thing, and then the keepsake. So she's doing it in her mind because she doesn't want people to know how cheap that thing is. But she can't do that because
Or
this is
how illegal it is, because you have to, in food you have certain certifications and certain requirements. They have to come and look at your facility. They have to approve your facility. So this
Yeah.
is also why the FDA wants to know whose facility are you using to make this product. We're not asking you for the recipe. We just want to make sure the vats that you're using, the machinery that you're using, everything is to code, and that it's done properly, it's properly ventilated, it has the right water coming in, has the right cleaning procedure, has the right batching
yep.
procedure. When you put a batch number on the back, like what we do too,
You
we
have
have a
to.
certain
You
batch
have
number. That's what they want. And so you can't say NDA to FDA. They're going to
No, you
say, no,
can't. No, you
actually,
can't.
that's what
You
we need
can't.
to know.
No,
Yeah,
you
we
can't. It's
need to know this.
mandatory. It's mandatory. Yeah, yesterday Patty was saying to me, Pat thought she was going to put a one up on me. She goes, Paula, let me look for this product because not all of them. It's actually something that looks very yummy, Pat, and I'm going to order it. That
Ugh.
popcorn thing, that
Oh
popcorn
yeah.
pancakes. Guys, they make these things, pancakes from popcorn, right? And
Oh.
apparently it's very posh because Pat is posh.
Ah.
So, and then Pat says to me, well, look at this. This doesn't have any. And then I go and I look down. Yes, it does. And then she goes, oh, yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. And there was a different one I was looking. I can't remember which one it was, and I couldn't find it anymore after that. I was like, okay, I must have been hallucinating or something. But yeah, I'm always playing devil's advocate to Paula. I'm not gonna let her just tell me something and believe it. I'm
No,
gonna
and
do
You
I'll
need
the
tell you,
research.
all the
no,
sides,
but
all the
I'll tell you
perspectives. You
because
got to
I
see
had
what's
to
going
learn the
on.
hard way.
Right.
I had to learn the hard way, guys, because when I started you've seen my things, Pat, in agriculture. I had nobody. I had no lawyers guy. So, and I'm not even techie. So I had to get on the website, and then you're phoning USPTO. Say, can you please help me? And then thankfully, I have my friend Paola in Miami who registered the company in the United States online, and of course, she's very savvy. And then she helped me with the trademark and stuff like that. But I mean, when I was in order to for my products, in order any if you're going to bring any products into the United States or even manufacture in the United States, the facilities have to be FDA approved, which means
Thank you.
I have a friend of mine because I used to hire the only manufacturing and processing plant here that was FDA approved for the United States, and it cost a fortune. So I said, "Fuck that!" I said, "I'm going to do my own little thing. I don't need a big thing, right? It doesn't have to be fancy. You
No.
just have to meet the legal standards." So I said, "I have this 40 square meter thing." And then you go to the U.S. Embassy, you organize it, and then they tell you what you need to do. For example, and I told this to Pat yesterday that we were talking. I wanted to because I didn't have any money. I had no money, guys. And then my friend had a processing plant for fish. She's a millionaire. So she exports fish everywhere, and they freeze it and everything. And she had a space right next to it, right? And Laura, her name is Laura. She goes, Laura, you can come here, Paula. I'm not going to charge you. Just make yourself at home. And I was happy. And then I was told that I couldn't because of the proximity to the fish thing. There's so many. You cannot have, for example, garbage disposals within 20 kilometers. That's how things are, like, guys. And then you have to have certain, and this is just for cleaning fruit. This is not even
Yeah.
for processing the
Even
jam.
how you dispose of the water that you're using, it has to have its own. It has to have its own path, and you have to have own treatment. And there's so many things you have to,
So
be aware of.
So
Mhm.
Meghan Markle should be, if Meghan Markle is, let's say, this is just my take. She is hiring a company that produces raspberry jam en masse, and she's just buying and putting her label on it. That's all she's doing. This is not even her recipe. This is probably somebody that they sell to, maybe in Walmart, because they do that with me. They would send me their labels, guys, but it was my fruit, you know. So she's doing that in a lot of countries. They come to third world countries because it's cheaper. The labor is cheaper for the processing plants, and then they
Mhm.
just ship it. Everything, even packing the boxes, everything. So
Mhm.
my take is that she's just getting a generic taste of her jam, and she's just putting it a label on it, and then she's charging you $14 for something that probably cost her like,
Yeah.
you know, one
Just
and a
like
half, and this is because of the glass.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
That's
yeah, I
it.
would think that's it.
And
And she
she's
doesn't want people to
refusing
know
to
where
say.
she's getting it because then they would blow the whole deal, right? But you
yeah.
Yeah,
can't. But the FDA, there's no way they will. It will be out of compliance if she
yeah.
does not disclose who her manufacturer is and the facility, because that's all.
Mhm.
They don't care about the rest of it. They want to make sure the facility is meeting the requirements.
Mhm. And this
And
is how you know she did not really sell out. Like
no,
she just
she
didn't.
can't. She legally can't, because if somebody were to consume something and it's something that happens to somebody
Yeah.
with that, because it could, it has happened. This is why you have FDA, where you complain, or food has been recalled or badly processed. Maybe her raspberries were too bleached or whatever, because
Mhm.
she's refusing to say what's there or which manufacturing, or anything. So that is dangerous. Nobody asked if you would eat it, P. Dinah.
If I would eat what? Her
Making it down.
no. Absolutely not. I'm not eating it. I don't know nothing about that stuff. She uh-uh. She ain't
And
here.
one thing we should leave on this serious note here, because we're going to be in for a while now. Um, um, what do you think of Sentebale now that you see what Harry tried to do to begin with? I believe that the palace intervened, because I don't believe that Harry's the co-founder, and neither is
Right.
Prince Saiso. And
Mm-mm.
the palace got involved because when they got wind of he's trying to trademark Meghan, because I believe
Megan.
this is Meghan, was
Mhm.
trying to trademark Sentebale for downloadable records, for this, for that, all for commercial purposes. And they interfered and put Dr. Chandauka back in business, along with Mr. Ian Rollison, who's still one of the most trusted aides to Prince William. And they're using Prince William's lawyer in the United States. That's just my take. But what do
Yeah.
you think?
That's what I believe.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, putting her in place, and they did it strategically, so they already could see it was going to happen.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
they knew this was going to happen when they put her back in. So this is, I mean, we're seeing it now, but they've probably seen it for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Pat,
And
who do you think? Who do you think sent the messages? Because apparently it wasn't according to Palace Confidential. That wanker of Alex Rayner, he wasn't that he talked to Harry face to face. Apparently there were text messaging.
Mhm.
So do you? And why would he be calling a man H? That
Right.
makes
The way the verbiage didn't seem like it was coming from him. It didn't seem like he wouldn't call Harry H.
no,
that's
well,
so
it's weird.
bitchy. Oh, it's because she's jealous of another woman of color. Which color
Yeah.
is
Well,
Meghan?
we know who wrote all of that.
Yeah. We're not
Which color?
stupid.
Which color is this woman talking about? It's like,
Right.
quit blackfacing, Megan. And I know you watch your channel.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you said on your channel, by the way, if you're viewing this live on my channel, go to P Dinas and subscribe. Go to Isomers. See, also Manuela has a YouTube channel, Isomers, but also I'm not wearing any makeup. No, I am lying. I'm wearing a little bit of eyeliner for you guys,
Mhm.
Beautiful.
and but that's it. So her products are amazing, and so please go Isomer. I'll leave the links and stuff like that. Do you think that Dr. Chandauka is going to win?
Absolutely. She's a professional woman. She's a lawyer. She knows she's not prepared to have her evidence, her receipts, because this is a woman that's a lawyer, a professional woman. She's seen things. She had to speak up. She had to, I think she was by the palace. She's within their, circle to go forward with what she's gone forward with. So absolutely, I have all the faith in the world in her.
Do you think that Meghan tried to kick her out? Do you think that things started to go wrong when finally Dr. Chandauka managed to trademark it in September last year? Because that's when things really started to go bad. When the trademark, when she managed to successfully trademark Sentebale, I can imagine Meghan saying to Harry, "It's yours. She shouldn't be making that. She shouldn't be doing this. Kick her out."
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah,
see
I
that?
can imagine that.
That's a
Mhm.
conversation for sure.
Oh,
You-
absolutely.
For
And
sure.
and and Pat, I saw your video yesterday that you said that the people eating them cookies with flowers are for pigs and or rabbits or something like
Yeah,
that.
so some people were seeing that flowers on food. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I saw that on X. I was like, and they look just like the guinea pig and rabbit treat food. So, but then people were saying in the comments that yeah, you can buy these as well. You can buy flowers on food that are edible.
Yeah.
I don't know I've never seen that for people, but I think it's very interesting that it's a treat for these animals. So to me, I just think, where is that being done? How is Megan creating her edible flowers for the food? All the more so we want to know, because we're not even seeing where the jam is made, right? So why can't, where would the flowers that she's putting on food be made? That I would,
Elevating them, Pat. She
yeah,
said,
elevating
It's
things.
elevating.
Yeah.
You know, my family, my husband's family, they're Persian, they're Iranian, right? So there are dishes we
"Oh,
make.
cool."
Yeah, there's
Mhm.
dishes we make. I'm Italian, but there are dishes that we make with rose
When I see
petals.
you, you have to cook for me.
We
So
do a lot. We use rose petals and we use
Okay.
these kind of flowers. But honestly, when we're doing it in a recipe or a dessert or whatever, I mean, you can get a lot of rosebuds and rose petals that are edible, but they're under $5. Like, I mean, these are not expensive. I mean, you can look them up,
yeah, yeah.
you
She's
know,
trying to make it an exclusive thing.
because nobody knows. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But can you imagine these people the day that they announce that they're leaving, they already dropped Sussex Royal in the United States trying to trademark it, and the Queen
Mhm.
Yeah.
probably went of it and said, "You cannot use Royal, you bitch." Well, I'm sure the Queen who had
Paula.
the late Queen was, of course, a lady. You know, she didn't say
Yeah,
that.
We don't
I'm
know.
sure she thought it.
Maybe she rightfully so could say whatever she wanted to say at that
Yeah,
age.
I am
yeah.
sure that the Queen was thinking it.
Yeah.
You know, I can imagine the Queen keeping things to herself, but in her mind, I can see her. Did you know that Princess Diana used to swear a lot?
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't.
I heard that.
No, no,
Mhm.
no, she did it. And she was caught once because she was trying to be like the rest of the people and not having to go through like, the VIP section. So the people were chasing her. And then at one point they're following her, she goes, "Oh, I'm a fucking princess. I'm just gonna go to the VIP." It's like
Well,
I have that little clip that I've been keeping going. And she's like, how they're chasing her, and then the guy goes back,
Yeah.
We're gonna take you here. You wanted to come commercial, and then she turned to the guy, "Oh, I'm a fucking princess. Just take me to the VIP."
Isn't that something? How Diana, just gotta love her.
Really miss her,
real.
and I've seen so many clips that are so funny, and
Mhm.
I just want to take the time to thank our community guys because Dr. Chandauka, and I know people say, "Oh," because I heard some assholes say, "Oh," people are even saying that she's working for William. She's not working for William. I do believe that William is involved somehow because this is the memory of his mother. I believe that this is not Harry's charity. This guy doesn't even know how to wipe his own ass, let alone create a worldwide charity. He tried to trademark it and he failed.
Mhm.
And I think that they decided to trademark it to prevent them from trademarking it.
I agree.
Okay, now just really quickly though, Michelle is making a good point because King
Interesting.
Charles is trying to really take up for Harry, and there's conflict
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
William and I think the King are like in opposition around what to do. So that's a good point, Michelle. And I think,
I have talked about it
yeah,
because
yeah,
yes,
wait and
because there's a big thing between Charles and Prince William. This is why
yeah.
Prince Williams has separated lawyers. Guys, when these things happen, I mean, these things are happening. Prince William kicked out Camilla's sister, who has been smooching off at Cornwall, the Duchy of
Mhm.
Cornwall. He kicked out her son. and their daughter, who was also, they all had jobs at the Duchy of Cornwall, and they were living in beautiful cabins there. I
Mhm.
think Prince William, and I'm gonna cry about it. One of the first acts that he's gonna do when he becomes king is he's gonna give back his mom the HRH, even posthumous. You know.
I believe so too.
Yeah, I do. I really do believe that he will. It makes me want to cry.
Yeah. Sad that
Yeah,
he took it from
yeah,
her.
it's very sad, you know. And I think that he's fighting for his mother's memory because, and
Mhm.
he's fighting for the children because he does care. He has kids. People
Yeah.
forget that. You know what's the beautiful thing of Prince William? And you know that I criticize him when I have to, is that he worked saving lives, and
Yeah.
he worked in ambulances,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
he was like, he would see some things, when he would go and like kids were dead or whatever,
Yeah.
like, and then he would go home and he would be completely destroyed, and he's very humane that way. So you can see that he wants to improve everything. He wants to work saving lives.
Yeah.
Harry wants to kill everything, and that bitch of his wife, skanky wife, has destroyed everything.
Yeah. She's really trying to destroy a lot of the goodwill, I think, that the royal William is trying to do. And thank goodness that he is that tenacious about, doing his work, because otherwise Meghan could run roughshod all over, you know, everything, because Harry will let it happen because he's so ignorant, so klug about so many things.
How racist he is to his race and Meghan's racism, because that
Hmm.
video of Meghan ignoring Dr. Chandauka, and as I
Oh,
said in my video, it ended with that clip at night. But Pat, you and I you
Oh,
have
yeah,
shared
he
it
shared
too.
it.
That it
Hmm.
started in the morning.
Yeah,
And I'm
she
gonna
didn't
share
quit.
another clip. I'm gonna share another clip that I'll send it to you too, Pat.
Hmm.
When Meghan is leaving, Harry's coming to pose for pictures. They don't even look at each other, Harry and Meghan. I'm gonna send you that interaction. Uh,
Okay.
when she's getting her pictures taken, and we see Dr. Chandauka come up, right? But
Uh-huh.
before Meghan is leaving, Harry's just coming. They don't even look at each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see that.
Oh yeah,
Let's see
you'll see.
that.
But
Let's see that.
so thank you to the community for supporting us. What do you guys think? Do you
Yeah.
think that the FDA should get involved? Do you think that it was right that Harry tried to trademark Sentebale? Thankfully, he failed. Sentebale,
mhm.
the palace found out about it, and I believe the palace interfered. I don't know what
Yeah.
you guys
I
think, but
believe that. And I want to thank Chrysler One Hastings for your super chat. Thank you for doing this. Really appreciated it. They said so. Thank you very much. And I think we should continue following this, because we know we have the investigation from the Charity Commission. I'm curious to see their findings, and I just hope at some point Meghan is going to be called out in a very big way for all the backhanded things she's been doing behind the scenes. She thinks she's slick, but she's not. She's
But you know
not.
what I think? I don't even think she's slick, Pat. You know what I think it is? I think she's psychotic. You know how psychopaths don't care? They
Yeah.
come and they kill. No, for real.
No,
They
really,
Oh,
for
for
real,
real.
for
I think
real.
you're right.
they kill,
She's
and then they
Yeah.
go,
delusional,
and
psychotic.
they
Yeah.
don't even think about it. They don't even think about it. I just killed you,
Right. Yeah.
slaughtered you, and then they walk away and they're going eat an ice cream somewhere,
Yeah,
and they'll
exactly.
forget about you.
Because
Harry,
they
And
you
this
can't
better
see
watch
the
your
ugly
back.
they're doing,
Yeah, and this
you
is
know?
Megan. So I want to thank the community because this is an important point, the FDA thing, but mostly Sentebale. I am glad that Dr. Chandauka managed to trademark Sentebale for Sentebale for
Hmm.
charitable purposes. So that skanky, chicken-legged, cheap weave, cheap veneers. I'm sorry, Manuela, I know you're a lady. Chicken-leggy
But I
claw.
can
Can
see
get her
it. I
hair
can see it
done.
in my mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
Megan doesn't want to be in a room with me. And one of the things I want to ask you that has been bothering me, and I'm sure people also here on the chat when I point this question are going to want to know, why are people afraid of this woman in the United States? Why? Why are they? I understand it in the UK because of the royal family and blah blah blah. And yeah, and horrible skin, she would benefit from Manuela's skincare.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
why are people in the United States still signing NDAs? Because it's illegal for her to make them sign NDAs to keep secret food where food products are being made. That is illegal.
Okay, so if you are working for Megan in her circle and she made you sign an NDA, go to an attorney. You don't have to do. You didn't have to do that, and come speak to me. I'll talk to you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be part of something that's not good for people. It's not good.
Right.
Don't buy anything. Do
agree to
not
be secretive.
buy.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't be drinking this because Cristiano Ronaldo hates Coca-Cola.
Ah,
And I know,
that's right. He wants water instead.
I know he wants water instead, and he scored 2 goals yesterday. I almost peed myself watching him score 2 goals yesterday. Tell you, your husband would know about it, Pat. You know, I know you
Oh,
don't
good.
feel well,
Okay.
but tell him that Cristiano scored 2 goals yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But even Coca-Cola, look, I mean, but I've shown the cheaper things, you know, with
But
cheaper
you'll
jams
see
that
in
they
the
have.
legal line who to get in touch with, what their number is, their postal, their zip code. There's always an address. There's always some place for consumers to be able to go and to advocate or ask questions about the product. So her label's not complete. The
No, and
regulations are there for for our own safety, but it's the right way to do it. And this is not just here; it's all over the world. There's packaging all around the world conforms to certain things, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to leave you with this. If Harry had managed to trademark Sentebale, do you know, for all those royal commentators who are saying that Dr. Chandaka should be more dignified, they didn't say that when Harry issued the statement. Harry should have been dignified and keep his mouth shut. But they're criticizing Dr. Chandauka for defending her reputation against the man who has a much larger platform and who's literally defaming her. She has had to change homes because of the death threats. And
Exactly.
you and I have faced that, Pat. We know
So
what that is
yeah,
like.
good
Okay.
for Dr. Chandauka. We are with you, sister girl.
Yes.
Yeah, she's got to be strong.
But can you imagine what they would have done to all those children? We know what he did to Kiki or didn't do for Kiki. You know, the little
Yeah.
girl that he abandoned.
Yeah, he abandoned her. Yeah, and he was supposed to have done so much for her, and he just forgot about her. The
It's all
thing
the gaslighting. This is what I'm going to do. Da da da. Then
Yeah,
there's no
yeah,
action. Zero action, right?
Zero action because
No,
his heart's not really truly in it. I don't think
No.
he really has the heart. Yeah.
no, and people should. I hope that the mainstream media starts calling this out. Now that I mean, no, we know we're small YouTubers or whatever, but we're putting these documents. They're online. Go to the USPTO, and you can see all the documentation. You can see the thing, and then you can see the documents that were signed, when it happened, how it happened. Meghan had already on January 8th, like 4 or 5 trademarks of Sussex Royal for bed linens, for recordings, for cameras. Royal Sussex Charities that sold T-shirts to raise funds for I don't know what, you know. So this is a woman who was planning on just exploiting people's pain and a title, and who's still doing it, by the way.
And still doing it. Yep.
You know? So thank you very much, and I'm gonna leave the link for Manuela and the link for Pidina. Go and donate to her charity. Go and donate to her charity. She is working with kids that need help in the United States. She's educating children, giving them an opportunity, not, you know, to get out of the hood, you know, kind of thing. Oh, me too, me too. Oh, Meghan Markle, you know what? Just leave Meghan Markle with me for half an hour. Or with Pidina, you know? So, so what would you do?
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes,
What would you
yes.
tell to this woman, Pat? What would you tell to this woman? What would be your words of advice?
I don't know. I don't know. I would probably I always try to see the good in people. I really do. But I
Ah,
know that's bad. That gets me in trouble every time. It really does. So
But she's had a
but what
lot
would
of
you say?
time to
Okay,
show
okay,
us her
okay. What
good.
would you say to this woman? What would you say to this woman? Okay, what would you say to this woman right now, knowing what you know?
well, I kind of did when I went to the Madame Tussauds. I saw her and Harry's statue, and I went up to her statue and I started shaking my finger, yelling
Yeah.
at her. It's on camera. It's in my member Patreon videos. I did do it.
That's funny.
But
But I mean, you can't. You know what, Pat? And this is something that is we all know this. You can't make somebody care.
I know you can't. You can't.
You
You
can't ask pigs to fly. There's a saying in Spanish: you can dress a monkey in silk, but still a monkey. you know, or you can take a pig out of the pigsty, but it's still a pig.
It is.
You know, so Meghan Markle, look at this woman. She went from the gutter to a royal balcony next to the Queen of England.
On a tour, or she where that city she went with
Can't
on the
remember.
train. She took
Yes.
took the train with the Queen. You know,
I mean, it doesn't get. And what has she done?
you
She's
selling
back with
jam.
Daniel Martin. She's
Selling
back
jam.
with Daniel Martin and Jake Rosenberg, her former lover, trying
Yeah.
to peddle some skanky jam
Yeah.
of questionable origin.
Ah, girl, you are just, ooh, you got some serious issues.
Yeah.
Can you? What would you have done if you had married, let's say, Harry? Okay, forget it. Okay, let's say you marry Harry and you're with the Queen. What would you have
doing
done?
everything they tell me to do. I'm doing everything they tell me to do. I'm not
Absolutely.
complaining, and I'm learning, and I'm asking her questions about Queen Mary and Diana, and asking her all kind of things about history, the presidents, the prime ministers, the kings and queens she's met. Like, I would ask her so much about history. You know, she had a firsthand account to so many moments of history that you would just be just in awe of the things she's seen and thought about that she never mentioned. Like the firsthand accounts of things that you can have her tell you about that has not, because she hasn't given interviews. Like, you had that up and close and personal of an opportunity, and you blow it on such trivial, superficial things. That just shows you how small-minded her brain really is. It's like what I said in my one video, is she's more about the product and not about the people. You know, she's more about the things, the materials, and not about the real substance of humans and care and getting to know people and understand their lives. And just, I don't know, I just think she's really truly missed out on an amazing opportunity, and has pretty much a lot of people not liking her.
I think she thinks she's bigger than the game, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
She's not bigger than the game.
She's
but
not
she
bigger than the
is.
game.
She could meet everybody in the world that's running the world, all the most powerful people, and meet all. You know, the world truly could be her oyster, and she chooses to disparage it and think that she's better than all of it.
And you know what, Michael Jordan, there was a quote about Michael Jordan, because he was such a great basketball player, but he always knew he was not bigger than the game of basketball. He may have been big as a player, but he wasn't bigger than the game. Right. And that's what Meghan, where she failed. She thought she was bigger than the royal, the empire, the monarchy, you know, the
she
men.
thinks she's bigger than Hollywood now. She thinks she's bigger than wherever she goes. She thinks she's bigger than the game.
She's bigger.
She doesn't even have. She's bigger than the FDA. She doesn't even have to do the labels properly.
Right.
No, but you know, it's amazing because how she belittles the Queen is like Harry's grandma.
Right.
Bitch, rinse your mouth. That is Queen of England, you know, like, and then I didn't curtsy. So I did a little compilation of Marilyn Monroe. I mean, Barbara Streisand. I mean, all these legends, proper legends, cursing to the Queen. Lady Gaga, Madonna. I mean, you would never expect Madonna to curtsy.
You know, and a good point is when she, during the Netflix documentary, when she was going to meet the Queen, and she said to Harry, "Oh, we're going to go meet your grandma. Oh, I love grandmas. I love my grandma." You know how she said that? It's like, woman, it's the Queen of England. Shut your mouth. It's not just a grandmama. Okay. I mean, a name it is, but it's not like you're trying to demean it as just a grandmother. You know, like, she just really, in these very offhanded ways, tries to make a dig at you in a very like passive aggressive kind of way.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what is so irritating about her.
Yeah. You know, and then when she did that edit, when she invited herself to be the cover, to edit the cover of Vogue in England, remember that she put the most influential women? You would think that she would put the Queen of England there.
Yeah. You would think. But she thought she was big head. She was like better than them. That's why she didn't do it. And that's
when she stands next to any of these people, even Sophie there, she realizes how small she is compared to all these women. That's why she needs to annihilate them, because they're all her enemy, because she can't stand next to them.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? She needs
Share
to
the
put them
space
down?
with
She
them.
needs to put them. Is that what you mean? Like she needs to denigrate them or put them down below her
Yeah,
level?
because they're so much better. They're more educated. They have more manners. They have more respect. They're more enlightened. Like there's just so many things. They have more purpose. I mean, they're not. They have a different mo. You know, they have something to do. They don't need to take somebody else's and claim it as it is and disparage it.
And they're talented. And they're
talented.
Did you see the booty on Dr. Chandauka? With all due respect, Dr. Chandauka, did you see the booty on Dr. Chandauka? The beautiful body that this lady has.
She's a beautiful woman. I
And
love
her
when I see people like
skin
that thriving. I just think the world is better when you see more people that are successful and thriving and
and
healthy
her
and are
hair.
educated.
Yeah.
And her skin is like, you just feel like want to bite it. Looks like chocolate. It's beautiful, isn't it? And her hair, love her beads, like her
Oh yeah.
braids. Like she's a proud African woman, like highly. Anyways,
Highly
we're gonna end it
educated.
because we're gone for almost 2 hours and a half. But thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks to the
Thank you.
community. Thanks for
Thanks for all
Pidana
the
and
hats and stickers.
and
Thanks,
everything, guys.
everyone.
Thanks but mostly thank you for your support. Go subscribe if you're in my channel. Go subscribe to Pidina's. Go to to Manuela's. I'll leave all their links, and do donate to her charity. I will leave the link to her charity in my video description and also on the pinned comment. So because she's working with kids, and go buy isomers. You keep asking me about my skin. Isomers. I will leave the link there as well. And it's made in Canada. It's Canadian.
Yes, Canadian, and we are an FDA approved site.
There
and
you
our
go.
labels
There
are
you
correct.
go. There you go.
Have a great Saturday, ladies, and thank you to
Thank you
all
so
who
much,
watched.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.